guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today we are going to be doing a how and when you'll come together reading. I have done this reading a few times on my channel before and I really enjoy doing them and I hope you guys enjoy them too. But basically we are going to see how and when you will come into union with the person you are thinking of, and this can really be anybody that you have on your mind. So I want to explain how this reading is going to go, and I actually wrote it down because there's a lot of different parts to this reading. It's going to be very thorough. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the energy of the connection. So your energy, this person's energy, I will call them your person. So your energy, your person's energy, and just the overall energy of your connection currently. And then we are going to move into the how and when part of the reading. So basically what we're seeing is, if you are to come into union with this person, what will be the circumstances and what will be the sequence of events that brings the two of you together. And we're going to see this on both of your ends. So, what's going to transpire on your side and what's going to transpire on their side to eventually lead you into this union. And then what is that union going to be like? We're also going to look at that as well. And then we're going to close off the reading with advice from spirit or from your spirit guides when you are on this journey. So that is everything that's going to be covered in this reading over here. And then we are going to have an extended reading today as well. So in this part of the reading, we're going to see what could speed up this process or what could make this journey easier. And we'll also see what could slow down this process, so what could hinder your journey to union. And then with that in mind, we will see how in alignment you both are to this union. How in alignment are you, and how in alignment is your person, and how likely is your union based on this energy. And then finally, we will see when you are likely to come into union based on this energy. So we will be getting a specific window of time. Okay, so if you sat through all of that, thank you. I hope now you have a good idea of what will be covered in this reading. So now let's move on to your group selection. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and with each reading we are going to be using a different tarot deck, and there's also a crystal on top of each deck to help you pick. As you can see, this is what the decks look like from the back, but in just a second I'm going to be showing you a card from each deck so that you can also get a feel for what the front artwork looks like. So you could be drawn to the back artwork, the front artwork, you could be drawn to the crystal. There's a few different factors to help you pick your group. If you really feel drawn to several groups and you just cannot pick one, please don't feel the need to limit yourself. You're more than welcome to watch more than one group, and you may even feel called to watch several readings for different connections. So you're free to use this reading however it will best serve you. And today I'm going to be showing you guys the Two of Cups because it's a relationship card, it's a union card, it's a lovely card. So that's the one we're going to go with. And without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Number 1, your stone is Blue Cat's Eye. Your deck is the Starchild Tarot Akashic Edition, and this is the Two of Cups. Number 2, your stone is Rubellite in Albite. Your deck is the Starman Tarot, and this is the Two of Cups. Number 3, your stone is Black Tourmaline. Your deck is the Likely Tarot, and this is the Two of Cups. And number 4, your stone is a Shiva Lingam stone. Your deck is the Moonchild Tarot, and this is the Two of Cups. Okay, so just in case you need a little bit more time to pick, these are all of your options laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one is calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose this beautiful cat's eye and the Starchild Akashic Tarot, this is going to be your reading. I love this stone so much. I do have another piece of Blue Cat's Eye, but this is like a very big chunky boy and it just reflects the light so beautifully. Well, I'm sure you guys know, maybe that's why you were drawn to this group, because the cat's eye is just so stunning. I apologize, by the way, if you can hear the air conditioner. It is a bajillion degrees and I literally have it on like the coldest setting and I'm still sweaty. So like, please pray for me. I forgot to say this in the intro, by the way. I did mention that your person or the person that you're thinking of for this reading can be anybody, but I just wanted to also clarify that this can be someone whom you haven't met yet, or who you don't know in the 3D yet, or even like you don't know who they are. So for example, your next significant other who has yet to come into your life or something like that. I just wanted to make that special clarification that this reading is really for everyone and for all types of connections. So in this reading, we're going to start off by reading the current energies of this connection. So like you versus them versus the overall energy. And then we are going to see how and when you will come into union. So basically under what circumstances and through what sequence of events in your respective lives you will come together into this union. And then we're also going to get some messages and advice from spirit or your spirit guides for your journey. So that's what we're going to look at in this reading, and then there is going to be an extended reading today, and there we are going to see what could speed up or slow down this process, because it's definitely not like the timing is set in stone and it has to be this way. There are actions that you could take or actions that your person could take that could speed up or slow down the process, that could help or hinder the process. So we're going to look at what those factors might be. And we're going to see in your current energy how aligned you currently are and how aligned they currently are with this union, how likely the union is to happen based on your current energies, and when specifically, so we'll get a specific time frame, when specifically this union is likely to happen, again, based on your current energies, which could change. But basically, broken record, but we're reading the current energies today, just so you know where you're at in this connection. But okay, I'll stop blabbing now and let's get into the cards. So we are going to start off with these oracle cards to do the energy check of this connection, and I am going to do this in a person A, person B style, meaning that I'm not going to specify which person is you and which person is them, but rather I will let you listen to the descriptions of each counterpart and see where you feel you resonate more. It's totally possible, and actually I feel like it happens quite often, that you might resonate with both sides, and this is a very strong sign that you and this person are mirroring each other. However, if you don't really resonate with either side, then it's possible that this is not your group. So with that, let's take a look at the cards. So in the middle we have Whispers. For person A, we have Time to Say Goodbye. The situation or relationship you are in is facing a dead end. It's time to move on and let go. All endings bring new beginnings. And then we have Abundance. And I avoided you because I was afraid to get hurt. I'm gonna put it like this so that it fits in the frame. And then for person B, we have Spirit Guides and we have 1111, so that might be a significant number for you guys. And also you guys are group number 1, so like repeating ones or repeating 11 could be important for you guys. And I also feel like mentioning, when I first saw this 1111, the camera timer was at 4:22, so April 22nd could be an important date for you guys, maybe like one of you out there. But yes, spirit guides. Your spirit guides are watching over your current love situation. Pay attention to repeating signs. This card also means that you are protected and it's safe for you to love. I'm just thinking, isn't April 22nd Earth Day? So maybe like someone's an Earth sign or something. And April 22nd would be like a Taurus, which is also Earth. Okay, anyway, we also have communication. And I miss the good old days. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this middle energy here, Whispers. This card actually kind of has a special place in my heart because this was one of the first oracle decks that I ever owned, and when I first had it, I used to use it a lot on my channel, and this card came up so often. Like almost every time I did a reading with this deck, it came up. So I feel like we have a special relationship, and I don't know, she's really sweet. So when Whispers comes out in a connection reading, it does make me think of a psychic connection. However, it's one that is kind of subtle. It's like your energies are always kind of lingering around each other. Your higher selves whisper messages in each other's ear, but it doesn't feel very like vivid or very intense, at least not yet. If this is someone you haven't met yet, you're maybe just starting to subtly feel their energy, but it may still be a little bit vague. Or even if you know this person already, perhaps like the role that they're gonna play in your life or where this connection is going still feels kind of vague. It's like the signs are there, but it's subtle. And I'm also getting the feeling that in this connection, feelings are mutual. So whatever you feel for this person, they feel for you. And if you're not united in the 3D yet, if you're like missing them, if you're longing to meet them, they feel the same way. If you're wondering if they're out there somewhere, they're feeling the same way. Like your emotions towards each other are mirrored. I'm feeling that very strongly as well. And also I'm noticing the number 12. It's reminding me of the Hanged Man in tarot. It's reminding me of the 12th house. You have this deep subconscious connection to each other. You always kind of feel each other. You always kind of sense each other, no matter how far away you are. And it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it or explain it or put it into words. Maybe some of you or this person have even had the experience of trying to explain to someone what you're feeling, and it just doesn't translate. Like it just can't be put into words. It could be put into art though, I'm hearing. So if you have trouble like processing your emotions and what you're experiencing in this connection, creating art could be a way to channel those emotions. Because what you're feeling with this person and what you're experiencing, it really does go beyond language, and it goes beyond 3D faculties. It's like a subconscious, it's a psychic connection that you're experiencing. And I want you to know that like this person's energy is always there. This person's higher self is always there. And I feel like you guys are always just kind of thinking about each other at the back of each other's mind. It's like this gentle presence that is constant. So this is what I see for the current energy of your connection, and I'm smiling right now. I think it's a really sweet energy. So let's move over here to person A. We have this message, time to say goodbye. The situation or relationship you're in is facing a dead end. It's time to move on and let go. All endings bring new beginnings. So I'm feeling some frustration with person A. And it's interesting that this card had a little bit of Hanged Man energy with the number 12, because in a connection reading, that card can also indicate things have been kind of stagnant, like things have not really been moving. And I feel like person A feels like they have been waiting on this connection for quite some time, and they feel like it's not going anywhere. With this message about a dead end, they feel like this relationship is not going anywhere, and they feel like maybe they should just move on. And with this card, I avoided you because I was afraid to get hurt. I feel like person A has reached a point where like waiting for this union or hoping for this union is honestly like hurting them more than it's making them excited or hopeful, because it's just been like such a long time. And again, this applies like whether you've met each other or not. Like even if you haven't met each other, this could be person A saying like, is my person really out there? Because I've been waiting for them for so long. Or like, when are person B and I gonna work things out? When are we gonna come together? It feels like things have just been stagnant, and I don't know, maybe this connection is just at a dead end, and maybe it's time to move on. I'm looking at this burning rose. Roses make me think of like sensitivity, and that actually comes from this deck. Sensitivity and someone being delicate. I feel like person A is very, very sensitive, and they're just afraid of really like putting their heart out on the line and really getting their hopes up. Like they feel like they're just going to get hurt. And so I don't know if it's necessarily avoiding person B, although it could be. But it's more like trying to move on from person B, or trying not to think about person B. And yet, even when they try to do this, person B's energy is always kind of there. And I feel like person A is getting kind of frustrated about that. With this card abundance here too, yes, this is a highly sensitive person. This is a highly emotional person. With this water overflowing out of the cups, this is someone who just has such a depth of emotion, such that it is spilling out of them. But with these cups here, I feel like person A is just trying to contain all of their emotion, and almost like trying to pretend that it's not there, but yet they cannot contain it. It comes spilling out of the cups. So interesting. It comes spilling out of their third eye. So it's like, even if in the 3D person A tries to ignore this connection, their third eye keeps showing them. The whispers keep showing them. The signs and synchronicities keep showing them. And I feel for person A. I feel his frustration. It's like, if it's not going to come together in the 3D, like, I don't want to keep feeling the energy. I don't want to keep picking up on the energy. I don't want to keep seeing the signs. I could even think of this as like an exasperated energy. So I feel like currently person A is confused about this connection, is frustrated, and is, kind of going through it emotionally as a result. So over here with person B, first of all, with spirit guides, communication, and I miss the good old days, I do feel that there is a message here for you that your spirit guides miss you, or that your spirit guides would like to talk to you more. So for some of you, I feel like there was a period where you talked a lot to your spirit guides. Maybe you did a lot of readings for yourself, or you just spoke to them. Maybe you wrote in a journal, and like they're missing you. They're missing that time where you used to have a lot of communication with them. And maybe they're wishing that you would ask them for more help, or wishing that you would, say your prayers to them, or say your wishes to them more. And you don't have to feel bad about depending on them, and you don't have to feel bad about asking them a million times for assistance or for confirmation or whatever it may be, because they really, really want to help you. Even if you're not person B, that's a message for you. I just have to say that. So we do have a lot of divine support in this connection. There are spirit guides closely watching over this connection. And I really like that we have this confirmation that it is safe for you to love. Right off the bat, I got a very, very sweet vibe from this connection. And I really do feel at the bottom of my heart that everything is going to be okay. This may be a tough phase in the connection, but I do feel that everything's going to be okay. And I feel like person B sees a lot of signs and synchronicities about this connection, and sees a lot of things that remind them of person A, or that make them think that person A is out there. And they even feel very strongly that person A is communicating with them. Person B definitely hears these whispers and feels person A's energy very, very strongly, and they feel a longing for them. Like they miss them. If this is someone you've been involved with before, person B is really missing some days of the past. Like maybe when things were easier between you, when you were closer. But even if you haven't met before, oh, this is interesting. Okay, if you haven't met this person yet, it's like, because person A is feeling frustrated and pulling away, person B is starting to feel their energy less and is starting to see less signs and synchronicities. And so they kind of feel like, where did person A go? Where did person A's energy go? And they're missing their energy. So they're really missing person A. They're really missing person A's energy. And they're really wanting to reach out and communicate with person A. But I feel like they might be waiting for some kind of sign that it's safe to do this, or maybe even waiting for person A to initiate. So I think that what person A and B definitely have in common is that they're really longing for each other and missing each other. I would say that maybe person B is the one who is a little bit more hopeful in this case, whereas person A feels more frustrated. And I don't think person A is done with this connection, but I feel like sometimes they just want to be done with it because they feel too much. They feel too deeply, and it just hurts. I think, yeah, person B is in more of like the hopeful energy and staying open and allowing themselves to reminisce, allowing themselves to think about the good times and, you know, daydream and get their hopes up. And honestly, you guys might resonate with both sides of these because it could really depend on the day. It could depend on how you're otherwise doing mentally, where some days you feel more like this energy and some days you feel more like this energy. That's totally possible too. But this is what I see for the energy check. So at this point, if you don't see yourself in either of these sides, maybe this is not your group, but if this does sound like you and your person, then stick around and we are going to move into the tarot section of this reading now. So if you guys have watched my how and when you'll come together videos before, first of all, thank you. And second of all, you'll probably be familiar with this format. So we are going to have person A and person B, and we're just going to keep pulling cards to show the series of events until we get into the middle, and the middle card is going to represent your union. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Crystals, which is the Nine of Pentacles, and then on person B's side, we have the Two of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Three of Swords. Okay, interesting. And then to represent the union, oh my gosh, we have the Empress. That is so sweet. Okay, so I'm going to start off by looking at relevant zodiac signs. Actually, I should mention, because this card reminded me of the Hanged Man, Pisces energy could be significant, just in case I didn't mention that before. And then we also have Taurus and Libra energy with the Empress, and then we have fire sign energy with the Queen of Wands. So this would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. If you or your person have these signs, if you know what your person's signs are, then this can be an extra confirmation for you. But if not, no worries. It's just an extra level of confirmation for those who may need it. So let's start over here on the side of person A. And actually, the first thing I want to mention is that since two of the cards have like this person with a companion animal, person A might be someone who has a pet, like who has a very close relationship with their companion animal. But I feel like, yeah, person A is kind of going through they're going through it mentally and emotionally. And I feel like they're at a point where honestly, just like existing, just going through the motions of life could feel like an uphill battle right now. It kind of feels like the world is against them. In a spiritual sense, they might even feel like the universe is against them. This person might feel misunderstood. Again, they're very, very sensitive, but I feel like even so, this connection has triggered their emotions especially. It's almost like I'm sensitive enough to begin with, but this connection has just really turned that into overdrive. Like it's turned my emotional sensitivity up a million notches, and I don't know how to deal with this. And I feel like person A will reach a point where they have to look within and they have to ask themselves, like, why am I so affected by this connection? Or why am I so attached to this connection? Why does it make me feel so strongly? And they kind of have to be introspective about, you know, what this might be triggering. And I feel like for person A, it has to do with like a need for validation or like feeling good enough, and something about this connection like brought up some insecurities that person A has about not feeling good enough or not feeling validated. Or person A might have a bad habit of comparing themselves to others and like feeling inferior to others, and something about this connection has like triggered that for them. But with the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Crystals after this, it's so sweet to look at this companion animal. Here it looks like they're looking out over the horizon, about to embark on a tough journey together. And here it looks like they're like, we did it, we did a good job. So I feel like person A is setting out to heal their negative mentalities and to heal their insecurities and to heal their wounds and to come out on top on the other side shining. And with the Queen of Wands, I see person A really, like it's like this connection made them feel things so strongly, and at first they were resisting it. At first they were frustrated about it, but then they realized like person B came into their life to bring up these things so that they could heal them. Like the purpose of this soul connection was for deep healing. And so person A goes from this place of feeling frustrated by the connection to feeling very grateful for it. Very grateful for what the connection has shown them. It brought to light things within them that needed to be healed, that needed to be processed. Their emotions all this time were trying to show them something, some part within themselves that needed attention. And I love the Nine of Pentacles next to this, because it's like person A is realizing like, I will be my own validation. I will be my own reassurance. I will be the one to love myself and to be my best friend, because the Nine of Pentacles has this feeling of being independent and of being self-sufficient. And the Queen of Wands has this feeling of being really confident, feeling really comfortable in your skin, loving yourself like no other, and not caring what anybody has to say about you, and not feeling like you're in competition with anyone, and not comparing yourself to anyone. I feel like person A is going from this place of like feeling so insecure, feeling not good enough, not feeling valid, to like becoming their own fuel, becoming their own nourishment, becoming their own best friend. Like they're developing such a good relationship with themselves and really healing themselves mentally and emotionally. And it's this connection and the emotions it brought up that was a catalyst for that. And it's funny, like right before the union, person A is actually in a place where they may still want it, but they're in a place where they're like, I know that I'm going to be fine either way. Because at the end of the day, I have me. I have my relationship with myself. I have my relationship with spirit. I have everything I could ever need, and I know I'm gonna be fine. So they're just developing such an inner strength. We see them going from this feeling like everything is an uphill battle to now feeling very confident, to being strong and independent and feeling grateful. Like they're going through a big transformation. If this is you, I'm really, really proud of you. And if this is your person, I'm really, really proud of your person. Yeah, so this is the energy they're in, like right before the union. They've totally healed all of this. And they're like, I'm good. I'm independent. I'm doing my own thing. Sure, it will be nice to have this union, but my happiness is not going to depend on that. I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to beg for it. That's the kind of vibe that they're in. So if you're resonating with this energy and you feel like you're working towards this energy or you're in this energy right now, congratulations, because that means that your union is drawing very near. So moving on to person B, this is very interesting. I got a pretty clear message of what this is talking about as soon as the cards came out. With the Two of Swords here, person B had a decision to make. Is it a decision? It's funny, I just said like, oh, I got such a clear message, and now I want to pull a clarifier, so I'm backpedaling. I just want to know if this decision was about their life in general or if it was specifically about this connection. Ace of Cups. Okay, yeah, so it was about this connection, I think. It was about some matters of the heart. They had an important decision to make, and they made the wrong decision. Not that there's objectively a right or wrong decision, but they would tell you, like, I messed up. I made the wrong decision. Because the Four of Cups talks about us being dissatisfied, and it can show us, like, in this feeling like we're missing out. We're not happy with what we really have, and we feel like there's something better out there. So for this to come right after the Two of Swords, which talks about like, oh, indecision, I have to choose between two paths, this is clearly indicating that person B feels like they did not make the right choice. So I don't know, maybe person B like made a choice to walk away or to not prioritize the connection. Maybe they went elsewhere. I don't know. But they made a significant decision that now they're like, I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I really effed up. And they're feeling kind of maybe salty. Salty is maybe the right word about it. But yeah, it's so interesting too how in the Two of Swords we see person B is facing the full moon and now they're facing away from it. So I think person B walked away from something and now they are regretting it. And it's interesting too that we have the message of like, I miss the good old days, and person B is wanting to communicate with person A. And if person B made a wrong decision that made this connection drift apart, that would also explain why person A is feeling frustrated and is maybe feeling like it's time to move on and is maybe feeling like things have reached a dead end. And with this Three of Swords here, this is a card that talks about like sadness or disappointment. I feel like it's more disappointment because I know that person B still has hope for things to work out. So I feel like the Three of Swords is more like an energy of them kind of kicking themselves for making this decision. So it's interesting, like the energies before coming into union are quite different. I feel like person A has done a lot of really intense inner work. Like they definitely took the hard way to push through their tough emotions and to come out on the other side and be this strong, healthy, independent person. I feel like person B is just starting to take accountability for the consequences of their choices. But it's interesting how this person is like cradling the moon. This could be a sign of person B healing and nursing themselves back to health. It's like, I guess they've also learned the hard way. Like they've kind of gone astray from what their heart truly wanted, and they had to deal with that, and they had to heal from that, and now they're like in the process of coming back. But let's talk about this Empress in the middle, because this is a really, really beautiful energy. This is a card that talks about unconditional love. So I definitely feel like there is a strong love that exists between these two counterparts. I think that you love this person, and I think this person loves you. And I think you truly want the best for each other. The Empress talks about like being devoted to each other, nurturing each other, showing affection to each other, and just this never-ending, flowing, abundant, unconditional love. It's very, very beautiful. When you come into union, I also think there's going to be a very strong physical attraction with the Empress here. If you know this person and you haven't seen them in a while, they will have definitely gotten more attractive, and they're going to feel that you've gotten more attractive, and I think you're going to be appearing just like really irresistible to each other. Or if this is not a romantic connection, you're just like, oh, look at you, you're glowing, you look so amazing, and you have nothing but love for each other. And I'm also feeling at this point, when you come into union, like all of the negative emotions or all of the pain or all of the doubts that you felt within this connection would be immediately washed away. It's like when you're together in the flesh and when you're like looking into each other's eyes, all of that sadness and all of those memories just wash away. They don't exist anymore, and all that exists is this beautiful present moment between the two of you. There is so much love in this union. It's honestly like out of a dream, out of a fairy tale. And with the number 3 here, this is about expansion and about co-creating. You even have the number 3 in whispers, like, 12 reduces to 3. March 12th or December 3rd could also be significant dates, whether that's like a birthday or a significant day that something is going to happen. But I also think in this union that you will create something beautiful together, whether that is a home, a child, a family, because the Empress is about like fertility and parenthood and nurturing, but it's also about abundance and prosperity. So you could be creating a business together, you could be building an empire together, but you're coming together in unconditional love. And with ease too. That's a very, very important message of the Empress as well, that you're coming together with ease, that it feels easy to be together. Even if you're nervous leading up to the union, even if you have some doubts or some painful memories or whatever it might be, when you come together, it all washes away and it's easy, and you just feel nothing but love and wishing the best for each other. And you will go on to create beautiful things together. And also, when you're together in the 3D, like when you're physically together, you manifest a lot more efficiently. You just like have superpowers when you're together, and things just manifest into your life as if by magic. I could not, don't tell the other groups, but I could not think of a more beautiful card to have in this union spot. Maybe the other groups will get the Empress as well, but I just think it's so beautiful. I just heard like I would do anything for you. This is really, really sweet energy. So let's look at our final oracle cards now to see the last messages and advice from Spirit. So we have trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? I feel like no matter what, you cannot ignore your intuition. You will always, like, even if you tried to like move on or not think about the connection, there will be those whispers. And I think niggle has a negative meaning, but I see someone who is listening to their gut, someone who's listening to their heart. And maybe person B messed up here because they felt that niggle, they felt that gut feeling, and they still went against it. And maybe person A messed up by feeling like my negative emotions are trying to tell me something, but then not going deeper and just trying to run away from them because they were uncomfortable. So I think that both people have learned a lesson. Like when you feel something deeply, when you feel something in your gut, don't run away from it because it's trying to tell you something. Oh, we have forgiveness. Nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. Yes, so again, the past is being washed away and there's like a chance for renewal, a reunion or a renewal of hope within this connection. And 29 adds up to 11. We had 11 here with the spirit guides. So 1s and 3s, I think, are significant numbers for this connection. And then finally we have cleanse again. So there's this feeling of things being washed away. You are water. Cry. Person A needs to cry. Maybe person B needs to have a good cry too. Sweat, drink, soak, swim to refresh. If you ever feel disconnected from your intuition or from your spirit guides, honestly, just letting your emotion come out could be a really good way to get back in touch with your spiritual team. I personally feel like our emotions and our psychic insights come through the same channel. So if you're holding back or suppressing your emotions, like if you need to cry and you're suppressing it, you could also be suppressing psychic insights. And you might find that if you just like, if you just let it out and have that good cry, you will start to hear, ooh, there's a car beeping outside, so it's confirming that. You will start to hear messages from your spirit guides clearly again. Also with sweat, I feel like exercise is a really good way to get in touch with your spirit guides too, because it just clears your mind. Personally, when I run, I cannot think of anything because I'm just focusing on running. And then I get a lot of downloads when I'm running. It's actually very fun. But then if I'm running too hard, I can't even listen to the downloads and I'm just like, anyway, it's not about that. But, right, so, and this is something that's very important, you know, and maybe I'm guilty in perpetuating this. I just feel like it's something in the spiritual community. Like, yes, we say like, just keep trusting your intuition, just keep having faith, everything's gonna be okay. And yes, that is very true. But in the meantime, feel your freaking emotions. Like if you're frustrated, if you're impatient, if you're sad, it's okay to feel that. Having faith and knowing that it's all gonna be okay in the end does not equal steamrolling your negative emotions with fake toxic positivity in the meantime. This is going to be an up and down journey. Yes, it's going to be okay in the end, but you're still allowed to have your ups and downs, and you're still allowed to feel your whole spectrum of emotions in the process. So maybe, I don't know, maybe your spirit guides are like, I don't know how to say this in English, but like your spirit guides are saying like, it's okay to like be a baby around us. Let us like, you know, let us do yoshi yoshi to you. Like, let us comfort you. Let us comfort you. Let us cuddle. Let us console you. Like, oh, come here, baby. It's okay. Like, it's okay to be vulnerable like that, is what they're trying to say. And like, get all of your emotions out. And this will strengthen your connection. And this will strengthen your psychic abilities as well. Yes. Okay. So group number 1, these are all the messages that are coming through for this part of the reading. So just to recap, in the extended part of this reading, we're going to see what could speed up or slow down this process on your journey to union. We're also going to see how in alignment you are and how in alignment your person is with this union, and how likely the union is to happen based on your current energies. And we're also going to see a specific time frame of when this union is likely to happen based on your current energies. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to meet me over at the extended, the link will be in the description as well as in the pinned comment. But if you're going to leave this reading here, I will say thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can also follow my Instagram where I regularly post pick a card readings. That will be in the description and the pinned comment too. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number ones, I'm sending you guys so much love to you and to your person and to your spiritual team. And once again, thank you very much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the Rubellite in Albite and the Starman Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about how and when you will come together with your person, aka whoever you are thinking of. I forgot to mention this in the intro, but your person can literally be anyone, including someone you have not met in the 3D before, or even like if you don't know who they are. So for example, your future significant other who hasn't entered your life yet, you can totally watch this reading for connections like that as well. I just wanted to clarify that this reading is for everyone and for all types of connections. So in this reading, we're going to start by doing an energy check of the connection. So we're going to look at your current energy, their current energy, and just overall the energy of the connection. And then we are going to get into the journey to union. So we're going to see under what circumstances and through what sequence of events on both of your ends, you and this person would come together into your union, and then what is that union going to be like? And then we will close off the reading with some messages and advice from Spirit to take with you on your journey to union. So that's what we're going to be looking at in this reading today. And then there's also going to be an extended reading. And there we are going to see what could possibly speed up this process, or what could possibly hinder the journey to union. We will look at both of those factors, and then we're also going to see how aligned are you currently with this union, and how aligned are they currently with this union, and how likely is union based on your current energies. And also we will get a specific time frame to see when union is likely to happen, again based on your current energies. Okay, that was a mouthful. So let's get into the cards now. We are going to start off with these oracle cards to look at the energies of this connection, and I am going to be doing this in a person A, person B style, so it will be up to you to listen to the descriptions of each counterpart and see which side you're resonating more with. It's very possible that you resonate with both sides. That could be a sign that you're mirroring this person. And also our moods fluctuate and energies fluctuate, so sometimes you might feel like the A energy and sometimes you might feel like the B energy, and that's totally fine. But if you cannot find yourself anywhere in this part of the reading, then this is probably not your group. So with all that being said, let's take a look at your cards. So, I like this one. To start off, we have Divine Animals with the number 22. So that could be a significant number for you guys. Also, Leo energy could be significant. No, I think Leo season will be done by the time this video is up, but maybe somebody is a Leo, or the following Leo season is going to be significant. For person A, we have Take It Slow. And it says slow and steady wins the race. Don't rush into this connection and situation. Take your time to get to know each other. Let this connection unfold how it's meant to be. Don't push anything. And then we have Connect. And things were complicated, but now I'm ready. And then for person B, we have Not For You. This situation in person is not for you. The universe wants better things for you. Rejection is the way your spirit guides protect you from something that is not in your highest good. And then we have Childhood. And finally, Be patient, the time will come. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start over here with person. Oh no, I'm going to start with this middle card with divine animals. So having the number 22 here, first of all, we do have a repeating number here, which already feels very significant to me, but this is repeating number 2s. 2 is a number that talks about connections, relationships, mirroring. It can talk about unions as well. It can be indicative of a soulmate connection if that is a label that you guys care about, or if that is something you feel in this connection, then I definitely feel that this number can be a confirmation. I feel like deep down, the two of you are very similar. Like your essence is very similar, but I feel that maybe you've had like very different lives or very different upbringings. And with this phrase divine animals, it's funny, and the number 2 as well, I'm getting this feeling of like duality between our divine self and our animal self. Now, I'm not saying animals aren't divine, because they definitely are, but I'm thinking of animal in the sense of like our primal self, our more human self, because humans are animals. We have like our spiritual side and we have like our human side, and it's very important to honor both and cherish both and not get so far, oh my gosh, why did it come to me like this? To not get so far up spirituality's butt that we forget that we are human and we have human urges and human impulses and human emotions, and it's okay to feel these things, and that does not make us any less spiritual. You know, being really human doesn't make us less spiritual. Being really spiritual doesn't make us less human. I feel like this is about embracing the duality of both. And in order for this connection to work, I feel like things have to be right on both planes, so to speak. So, you know, no matter how good things might feel in the spiritual connection with your higher selves, if things are not going well in the 3D, that still has to be addressed. So like remembering that duality and remembering that balance might be important for this connection. Also, when it comes to manifesting this connection, yes, it is very important to like set your intentions, and maybe you're doing meditations or maybe you're doing spell work and these more spiritual things to manifest this union. But it's also important to be putting in efforts in the 3D, to put yourself out there, to take action and reach out to this person if you can, to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally so that you're in a good place to be in a relationship. You know, it's not all just like, oh, I'll ask the angels, I'll set my intentions. We have to do practical things as well to get ready for union. So maybe someone out there, just ignore me if I'm not calling you out, but maybe someone out there just needed to be reminded of that and kind of come back to the 3D a little bit. And with that being said, I think with this lion too, I'm thinking of the strength card where it's like, we want to be strong, we want to have control over our emotions. If you're feeling like really freaking passionate sometimes in this connection, or like really impatient or restless, it's okay to have those emotions because you're human, and we're not gonna be all like zen and spiritual all the time. Sometimes we feel really full of temper or full of passion or full of restlessness, and that's okay. I think some of you guys out there just need to remember to like honor your human self more throughout this process. Okay, so now let's break it down and look at person A and person B. So, as we can see very, very clearly with this card, person A is wanting to take things very slow in this connection, or more than that, I feel like person A is just that type of person. Like they're slow to warm up to people and to trust people, and they could just be wary of like, I don't want to fall too quickly, because if I'm like falling for you, or if I'm deciding to keep you in my life, I just want to make sure that I'm doing it for the right reasons. And it's not because I'm like getting carried away in the heat of the moment, or like I'm just feeling super passionate or super attracted to you. I want to take my time and build a solid foundation and like, you know, check that we are on the same vibe. Like they just want to be very thorough. That's the feeling that I'm getting. And I think that's really nice. Like I want you to know that when I choose you, it's because I've really gotten to know you and see the person that you are, and I really like that person. It's because I've really taken my time to get to know you. It's actually a very nice energy, and it makes sense that we have connect here. Like, I really want to connect with you. This shape of this triangle is making me think of the air element. I know the air element symbol has like the line through it at the top, but it just right away made me think of air, which is like communicating and making sure you have that intellectual connection. I feel like for this person, yes, they're very passionate, but I feel like they don't just get passionate off of like looks alone or like first impressions. It's when they get to know your mind, when they get to know your heart, when they have that like intellectual and emotional and they feel that spiritual connection, that's when they really unleash their passion. Now with this message about things were complicated but now I'm ready, this could on one hand just be indicating like person A needs some time to be ready. But about this complicated situation, you see how these people are like standing back to back and the heart is in between them and there's all these eyes. I'm almost seeing all of these. I just saw 1111 by the way. I'm thinking of all of these eyes as like onlookers. And these people are like making a wall to block out the onlookers, and they're like hiding their love. So person A could be hiding this connection, or they're the type of person who doesn't really like to show off people in their life, like show off their loved ones or show off their partner or like talk about their relationship a bunch. Because they want to keep it safe. This could be someone who's like, they're like afraid of people gossiping about them or afraid of people interfering in their most important connections. Maybe this has to do with something that happened in the past where like other people got too involved in their, you know, personal intimate relationship and it ruined it. Or maybe they had people gossiping about them, or maybe they just are, you know, with this Leo, they could have a lot of admirers, a lot of eyes on them, a lot of people talking about them, buzzing about them. And so they want to keep these matters of the heart safe. But here's where there's an issue, because now we go over to person B's energy. And it's quite clear to me that person B is someone who has trauma or wounds surrounding rejection and abandonment. And I think that this comes from their childhood. Like, actually, no, it does. I see this very clearly with the Oracle card. This person has felt, so maybe it's like from their parents or like friends when maybe they were like bullied when they were a child or something like that. But person B definitely has wounds surrounding rejection. And so when we have this person A who is like, I want to take things slow and also I don't really want to show you off, I feel like that would really trigger person B's wounds, because the way they see it is like, if this person is taking it slow, like if they're slow to make a commitment, if they're slow to get back to them, their immediate thought would be like, either person A is not into me, or like person A is gonna leave me, or person A doesn't want to commit to me. But it's like the exact opposite. Like person A is taking their time because they want to be very thorough and really get to know person B, so they know like, you're not just an impulsive choice. I'm not just getting like carried away in the heat of the moment. I know you very, very well. Like I took the time and effort to really get to know you and like let this connection simmer. And now I know for sure that I want you for everything that you are, because I've seen everything that you are. But person B is taking it like, oh, this is moving slowly, or this isn't moving at all because they're not into me, or something like that. And then similarly with this, like, I feel like this is not person A, like they would not do PDA or like post their loved ones or significant others or whatever it might be all over social media and be like talking about them to everybody. And with this lion here, maybe this is a little bit of person B's energy, because I've known some Leo people and like Venus and Leo people, and let me tell you, they want, like, maybe it's a generalization, but they want to be shown off, and they want to be like showered with affection, and their partner to be like really proud, like, look at my person, you know, which of course we all want that to some degree. But I think if person B has these wounds, they could see it as like, oh, you're keeping me a secret because like you're ashamed of our connection, or because you're not really serious about our connection. I feel like person B is maybe prone to misunderstanding person A's intentions because of their wounds. And so this relationship would need, and maybe that's why this reminded me of the air symbol, like with communication. I think for this connection to work out, there needs to be a lot of communication. First of all, person B needs to be aware of their wounds and how that could kind of change, or not change, how that could affect their perception of things. And also I think person A, maybe person A needs to be a little bit more understanding and compromise a little bit more, because maybe it could just be because they're not aware. Like maybe person B hasn't told person A about their wounds and how their behaviors are affecting them, and that's why they're acting like this, because they think everything is fine. But maybe some person A's out there are being a little bit not stubborn, but maybe like this is just how I am. This is just how I do relationships. And it's like, yes, but sometimes, and I can't tell person A what to do, but sometimes, like, you know, if you really are serious about someone and you really love them and you really want them in your life, we make little, not like change the fabric of who we are, but we can be aware of things and tweak how we communicate and make extra little efforts to make them comfortable. So maybe person A needs to do a little bit more of that for person B. But yeah, person B, spirit wants to reassure person B that the time will come for this connection and this slow movement. And I really feel for person B, because like when you have this kind of framework to interact with the world, it feels scary. But spirit is reassuring person B with this card, like the time is going to come. Things are moving slowly, but that doesn't mean that this person doesn't care about you or that they're not serious about you. So this is what I see so far for the energy check. So if you have not found yourself or your person in this part of the reading, you may want to try another group, or maybe this is not your reading today. But if this does sound like you and your person, then stick around, because now we're going to get into the tarot. And I'm really, really excited to use this deck because it's actually one of the first decks I ever got, and the same with this one, but I haven't used this one in ages. So, maybe I should explain. We have person A and person B. So we're going to just pull cards and see the sequence of circumstances or events that each person will be going through. And then we will pull a card in the middle to represent the union. And I'm gonna drink some tea because I ate a bunch of olives before filming and they were salty, and now I'm thirsty. Okay. Group number 2. Okay, so let's start with person A's side. So we have the 2 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Pentacles. And then on person B's side, we have Temperance, the Empress, the 3 of Pentacles, and then, can you see everything? These cards are kind of long, so they're not fitting exactly the same as the other groups. Okay, there we go. And then to represent your union, we have the Emperor. Cool. So we have the Empress and the Emperor coming out. That's a very, very good sign. That's giving more counterpart energy. The same way the number 22 was giving me that vibe. I do want to mention that I feel these cards came out pretty quickly and pretty smoothly, which is a very, very good sign, because if a deck is behaving all like messily and like falling everywhere, or like it's hard for me to shuffle it, then there could be some confusion or some conflict or, you know, some resistance. But because the deck was shuffling so smoothly and quickly, it's really making me think that both parties in the situation are quite certain about how they feel about each other and the way they want this to go. And I do feel very positive about this. So also I want to point out zodiac signs that are present here. We have Aries energy with the Emperor, and then we have Taurus and Libra with the Empress, and then we have Sagittarius with Temperance. I was just thinking of how like there's all 3 fire signs are here, because we had the Lion for Leo, and then we had Aries and Sagittarius. So there's quite a bit of fire sign energy. And this could also be indicative of like spring season. Spring season might be important. But let's start over here with person A. When I saw the 2 of Swords, my eyes immediately went back to this card. Things were complicated, but now I'm ready, because the 2 of Swords indicates being at a crossroads of some sort, having to make a decision between like 2 different paths. Should I go this way or that way? Should I stay or should I leave? It's this feeling of like indecisiveness, and it feels especially troubling in this deck, because if you look at this image, this person is literally being torn in half. So I feel like person A has been faced with a decision that they feel like the stakes are very high. It will really affect the course of their life. It's interesting. Group number 1 also got the 2 of Swords in this position, but for them, it was like, I just saw 2244, by the way. For them, it was like a decision about this connection. But actually for this person, for person A, I don't think that this is about the connection. I think it's something else in their life. They have to make a very, very big decision. Normally when I think about life-changing decisions, I'm like, okay, something about like your career path, or like maybe where you're gonna live. Those are just the ones that come to the top of my head, although it could very well be something else. With this wolf, I'm also thinking like, I just heard like, should I go solo? Like, should I break free from my group, from my community, from my path, or should I stay with them? Maybe something is tearing them apart because they have loyalty to a certain group. Like they want to break off to, you know, self-employment, or like focus on their own craft. But then like the group of people who supported them up until now, it's like they don't want to be disloyal to them or something like that. Because I think, yes, 2 of Swords is it Moon in Libra? It's something in Libra. I'm pretty sure it's the moon, but it doesn't matter. It's something in Libra. So I feel here that like concern for other people could be really affecting this person's decision, or like a sense of loyalty or attachment that they have to other people could be making this decision very, very difficult. And Oh, I really feel for this person. I think, like, deep down, they know that they have to make this choice. But yeah, because sometimes with this Two of Swords, I feel like, oh, this is kind of like, I don't think it's time sensitive, but it's like the longer they put off this decision, the more it tears them apart. And I feel with the Ten of Wands, like, this is them really feeling the burden of it. I feel like they're putting off making this choice, and the burden just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. It tears them apart more and more and more. But with the Ten of Pentacles here, oh yeah, I should have thought of this. This is another indication that this probably has to do with career, with like a big decision that they're making in their career. I feel like it has something to do with them like going off to do something more independent in their career, like going off to make their own business, or like they used to work within a group and now they're like going to do their own thing. And I think the people that they're taking into consideration, it's either their family or people who feel like family. It could be like, I'm just thinking of like loyalty to your family and making a career decision. Maybe this is someone who like has a family business and they're, you know, everybody has worked for the family business and they're like, I actually don't want to do that. But they feel so bad because like, I'm so grateful to my parents and grandparents who worked so hard and, you know, created this opportunity for me, and I don't want to let them down. And, you know, there's that feeling. Or like, everybody in this person's family went to University A, but they're like, I want to go to University B. Something like that. Or I'm even thinking of like a band. Someone's in a band and they're like, I want to do a solo career, I want to do something different, but like my bandmates, we've been through so much, and like what if my fans think I'm a traitor, you know? So it could be a lot of things, but they have to make a choice. Like, they're so busy worrying about what if I make the wrong decision, but the longer they prolong this decision, it's just stressing them more and more and more, because they have to keep living their life as if everything is okay. You know, like they're going to the family dinners and in their heart they're like, well, I gotta tell them at some point, like I gotta tell them I don't want to join the family business, but they have to sit there at Christmas dinner and act like everything's all fine in their life, or go to the band practice, or like go to a fan meet. I'm just giving a bunch of different examples, and act like, oh yeah, I'm so excited for our future projects, but like they're not. And so it's like, I mean, maybe I'm being dramatic, but it's like kind of killing them on the inside. Like Ten of Wands is very dramatic. It's a very, very heavy burden. And so things in their life are complicated right now. You know, there's something with person A where they're just the type of person to take it slow, but things could be moving even slower right now because they're dealing with this crap. But then they think about their own long-term future and they think about their own family. I think this is someone who, if they don't have like a family and kids already, I feel like they likely do want that in the future. I feel like this is representing the family that person A will create in the future. And so I think on one hand, they're like, you know, it might be temporarily uncomfortable for me right now to break this to my family, my community, but that's, you know, short-term discomfort. But if I think about my long-term future, I can't keep going like this forever. In the long term, I know I have to do what's best for me. That's one way I'm interpreting this. But also, when they think about their kids, whether they exist yet or not, like, you know, the family that they want to create in the future, they're like, I would never want my kids to feel this way. And who knows, like, maybe my dad also didn't want to join the family business, but he felt pressured. Maybe I'm breaking the cycle by going and doing my own thing. And When I go off and start my own business, I will not force my kids to join it. Or I'm just using these two examples because they're like easy for me for analogies, but of course this could be so many other situations. Maybe another one of my bandmates also wants to go solo, and so if I come forward, it's going to make it easier and we can all just not feel guilty about it. So they're like, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? Or like, what lesson do I want to teach to my descendants? Because if I stifle what I really want, then I'm going to teach my descendants that you should stifle what you really want. But if I bite the bullet and break free and live the life I want to live, that's what I will teach future generations. And so they're kind of breaking. And it's very interesting that we have two 10s, because 10s represent completion. They represent the end of a cycle. I think person A is breaking this cycle. Oh, and the Emperor. Oh my God, this is making me emotional. Because okay, I'm sorry, but first of all, my eyes are going to like this rainbow things busting out of his belt buckle. Like, I don't know, there's some passion in his pants, okay? But, oh, and also this very small ghost in the background, is it gonna focus? It's making me think of like an ancestor spirit watching over you, watching over this connection. But yeah, the Emperor's making me emotional because one thing about the Emperor, especially with the 10 of Pentacles, is that he's like rock solid. He's really stable and loyal, and he's not going to go anywhere. I feel like with these two cards next to each other, person A is like a real loyal person, a real provider. Like when they love really, really hard. Yes, they take things slow, but then once they're with you forever. And the Emperor in connection readings, I often think of the phrase like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here. And so even through all of this complicated crap, like person A is right there in this connection. Like they have not changed their mind about it at all. And in fact, I feel like person B or person B's energy or thoughts of person B have kept person A sane through this whole stuff. Even if the two of you don't know each other, just the thought of person B or just feeling their energy has really kept them strong and kept them sane through this. And yeah, the Emperor is also someone who's independent, taking charge of their own life, making empowered decisions. So person A is definitely, going to break free from this and do what is best for them. So now we go over to person B, and it's interesting that we have Temperance here while the Two of Swords is going on here, because Temperance does talk about patience and holding back on your emotions. I feel like, person A is dealing with stuff, and maybe as a result the connection is slow or put on hold, and person B is definitely feeling it, and they're trying to balance out their emotions from this. They're feeling like, okay, the universe is making me wait, I'm being patient here, like this is fine. I just saw like, that comic or meme of like the dog sitting in the burning house and the dog is like, this is fine. And maybe that's why that message came out at the very start, like for both of you in this connection, like just get out your emotions. That's the fastest way you can balance out your emotions, is if you just get them out, and then you will feel better. So I don't know like who person B is in this situation, but it's a message for you as well. Like if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling upset, just let it out, and then you will, oh, oops, I spit a little bit. And then you will go back to your baseline faster. But also, I feel like person B is very wise. With this Temperance card, this makes me think of an old soul. It makes me think of someone who is very evolved. And also, this is like Sagittarius and Jupiter energy. So this is someone who can see the bigger picture of things. they can see, yeah, and this person has some psychic gifts too. Person B has some psychic gifts. It's like they can zoom out and not only see the current situation, but they can see like past, present, and future, and like the potential future timelines. And I think they can also see people's energetic fields. Like they can see people's aura, or they can just sense people's energy, sense what people are thinking and feeling. I feel like person B would know how to navigate this situation very, very well. Because there's like a level of mastery with temperance. And so I don't know why this information is coming up. Maybe it's like person B can help person A through this, or person B's like, man, I already know what you need to do. And they're like feeling a little bit frustrated about it. Not like frustrated at person A, but just like frustrated about the situation, and that, you know, it's taking so long and it's weighing on them so much. Yeah. But I feel like when it comes to temperance in a connection reading, and maybe this is like a whole other note, but it makes me think someone's like union journey, and also their career journey, and their spiritual journey, and their healing journey, and all of it is like bundled up into one thing. So we've already seen that this connection will be a big part of person B's healing journey, because they are going to be healing these childhood rejection wounds, or healing abandonment wounds. So we've seen that, and it's also like a part of their personal development journey. They're learning how to balance their emotions. But this would imply to me that there's also like person B's career journey is going to be affected by this connection too. And especially because we have the Empress right after this, which is about like abundance, prosperity, manifesting your desires. I don't know, maybe person B is like really inspired by what person A does. I think, okay. Yeah, person B is just like flat out psychic, or at least they're really, really attuned to person A. You know, person A is over here struggling because they feel like they're living a lie. But even as they live this lie, well, no, it's not a lie, because they do love, you know, the situation they're in, and they love the people they're with. But there's a part of their authentic self that they're definitely having to stifle to stay in their current environment. But even so, that does not stop person B from picking up on person A's authentic energy. You know, person B is like, I see you, I see the real you, and that's why I love you. Like, I see all these things about you that make you so amazing. Even if you're hiding them, I see it. I see it with my sixth sense. I see it with my energetic connection to you. I see you. And I think there's something about that authentic energy, because remember, your essence is very similar. So like, everything that person B admires in person A is something within them that wants to be awakened. So if they're looking over at person A and saying like, oh my gosh, they're so creative and daring, that's because person B is also creative and daring. And those aspects are like speaking to their soul, like, wake up your creative side, wake up your daring side. So person B is being inspired to make some move in their career, or to do something creative because of how strongly they feel about person A. So maybe, I don't know, maybe person B starts writing songs about person A, or or maybe they're so inspired by this spiritual connection that then they feel called to like do readings for other people in these types of connections, like, and become a spiritual healer, or they see person A starting their own business, and that inspires them to start their own business in something completely different. And again, these are just a few of many, many examples of many things that this could be. But what I see is that person A lights some fire in person B, like reminds person B who they are and what their potential is, and it's going to propel them to make some really big moves. in their career, in their projects, in their creativity. And that's going to bring them into this Empress energy, where they're really creating their desired life. I feel like, yeah, person B needs to do something creative, whether that's like art or a business, or it could be even like a foundation, like a foundation for humanitarian purposes, you know, like to help those in need. It could be those kinds of like activism. They're being inspired to do something like this, and they're becoming this empress. They're expressing themselves creatively, or they're acting on what really matters to them, and they're nourishing others through that. They're nourishing their community. They're nourishing the world, I want to say. And something is being unlocked in person B as they start to create more, and as they start to serve others more. Something unlocks for them. Like, the universe is favoring them. The universe was always favoring them, but person B is going to start to notice that ever since they've been on this new path, there's a lot of synchronicities in their life. And when they think about something or when they want something, it manifests just like that. The Empress has a lot of meanings, but recently, the meaning of effortless manifestation, like things popping into your life just like magic, has really been coming through in readings recently. And that's really sweet. It's almost like person A's higher self was like, psst, go down this path. It's gonna lead you to a lot of good stuff. And person B goes down the path, and what do you know? Abundance comes to them. Everything they want to manifest comes to them. Really weird coincidences, because they're not coincidences, but it feels like, what are the chances? I'm even getting like Wheel of Fortune vibes. Really weird coincidences and synchronicities start to happen in their life to line them up with all of these amazing opportunities. And they're on this path of like good luck and blessings now. Now, interestingly, with the Three of Pentacles, this refers to person B coming into a connection with like a mutual person in person A's circle. So I don't know, like if you guys have met each other before yet, I don't know, but if you haven't, this would be like person B is working with person A's friend, or makes friends with, you know, someone that person A knows. Because this is like, in these types of readings, it's like your mutual circle, your mutual friends. If you already do know each other, then it could be like person B is bumping into one of your mutual people, and that somehow leads to the union. So there's like this third party, this mutual person would be involved in like helping you guys meet, or helping you guys meet again. And then person A is in a much better place, person B is in an amazing place. Like, you're coming in to each other's lives, or coming back into each other's lives as the freaking Ten of Pentacles and the Empress. So needless to say, you're going to be incredibly thriving. I want to use the word thriving because I feel like when I say like wealthy or abundant, it puts too much focus on material things. And that's not to say you won't have material things, but I want to really clarify that you're not just thriving in a material sense, like you're also thriving mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and you feel really secure. You know, I'm secure within myself, and I feel like my future is secure. And that's why your union is the Emperor, because you're independent, you're empowered, you're taking care of yourself, and now you can take care of each other. And I feel like this is a connection that will grow slowly, but it will grow very, very stably, if that's a word. Stably and steadily. And there's really strong indications of like having a family together. You know, the Empress can talk about children, parenthood, fertility, and the fact that we have the Empress and the Emperor together, because they're like the mother and the father, or the parents of the tarot deck. And then we also have the Ten of Pentacles, which is about like your Wow, that was a beautiful energy. So let's take a look at your final oracle cards for some last messages and advice from Spirit about this journey. Oh my gosh, unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Exactly. There's some generational cycle that is being broken here. This could also be a hint that you guys have had past lives together, and maybe this is like a life where you're doing it right, you know, like the things that went wrong or the ways in which you got hurt or hurt each other in the past or in past lives. It's like, let's do this right. Let's free ourselves from these cycles. We also have, love makes the difference. Love helps heal past hurts. So again, like healing the past, you're definitely healing past hurts, and provides a sense of security and self-worth, which we just finished talking about too. And then, also I want to point out 31 for some reason. There was 22 and 31. These could be like ages that you currently are or that you will be soon. Also, maybe someone's like born on the 31st or the 22nd. Okay, and then we have keep being you. What others say or do is a reflection of them, not you. Don't take anything personally. It drains your energy. Wow, I feel like there's so much to unpack with this card. Like, at the end of the day, you have to be you, and you have to do what feels right for yourself. And like, other people are gonna say stuff, but that's not your problem. And I'm kind of thinking of person A here, because it seems like they had a fear of like onlookers of their relationship. Like, what will they say? What will they think? And it really doesn't matter, you know? I think that person B is gonna help person A to be more free. Yeah, person A inspires person B to like take charge of their life and be creative, and person B inspires person A to be free and to be more unapologetic in pursuing what they love, and to not give a hoot what people might be thinking or saying or whatever, because it's their life at the end of the day. Okay. Oh, and also, like, don't take anything personally. That's really interesting, because I feel like person B was taking person A's actions personally based on like past wounds. Yeah, this fits into the reading super well. So group number 2, those are all the messages I have for you. So if you guys are interested in the extended reading, we are going to be, oh my gosh, it was so long, let me think. We are going to be seeing what could speed up this process or what could slow down this process. We're also going to see how aligned you currently are with this union, and how aligned your person currently is with this union, and how likely union is based on that. And then we will get a specific time frame of when this union is likely to happen based on both of your current energies. So if that is something that interests you and you would like to join me over there, the link will be in the description as well as in the pinned comment. But if you're going to leave the reading here, I will say thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can also follow my Instagram, where I post regular pick a card readings. That will be linked in the description and pinned comment too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below too. Group number 2s, I am sending so much love to you, to your person, and to your whole spiritual teams. And once again, thank you very much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the Black Tourmaline and the Likely Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about how and when you will come into union with your person, meaning whoever you are thinking of. I feel like this is something I didn't really clarify enough in the intro, but when I say that this person can be anyone you are thinking of, I really mean like even if this is someone that you haven't met in the 3D yet, or even if you don't know who they are, like for example your future significant other who has yet to come into your life, you're totally free to watch this reading for that kind of connection too. So I just wanted to clarify that a little bit better, that this reading is really for anyone and for all types of connections. And I did also want to mention for this group, there was a message that came through before I started filming. It's a little bit vague, but it's sort of this feeling that your person is worrying about how you're doing. Or I could also say like wondering how you're doing. It's like they want to know that you're doing okay. They want to know that you're taking care of yourself. And this is a thought that maybe pops up in their head more often than you think. So I wanted to relay that message to you at first. But yes, in this reading, we're going to start off by doing a good old energy check. So we're going to see your current energy, their current energy, and just the overall energy of this connection. And then we will get into the how and when you'll come together part of the reading. So basically, we're going to see under what circumstances and through what series of events on both sides will finally bring you to your union, and then we're going to see what that union is going to be like between the two of you. And we're also going to get some messages and advice at the end from spirit that you need to know along this journey. So that's all what we're going to be looking at in this reading. And then there's also going to be an extended reading today, and there we are going to see what could speed up this process, what could make this union happen more quickly or more smoothly, and conversely, what could hinder this union, or what could slow down the process. And we're also going to see how aligned you are and how aligned they are to union based on your current energies, how likely is union to happen, and when, the specific time frame, when is union likely to happen based on your current energies. Yes, so with all of that, let's start off by taking a look at some oracle cards. So oh, that's for the end. I'm gonna do this energy check in like a person A, person B style, meaning I'm not gonna say like this side is you and this side is them, but rather I will let you listen to the interpretations of both counterparts and see what you feel resonates more with you and what resonates more with your person. It is totally normal if you feel like you resonate with both sides. That could be an indication that you and your person are mirroring each other. And it could honestly just be like, you know, some days I feel like this and some days I feel like that. That's totally fine. But if you don't really see yourself in either side, like if you're not really picking up on your or your person's energy, then this might not be your group. Okay, so finally, let's take a look at these cards. Okay, so to start off, we have Remembrance with the number 11, which might be an important number for you. And then for person A, their first card is Building Blocks, and it says, let's build together with a little happy face. This card is a sign that you will attract a solid relationship. Already established relationships will be more stronger. Both of you are laying out an honest, strong, and genuine foundation. Wow, I love that. And then we also have Fire. And I have never felt such a strong connection. Wow. Okay, person A is feeling it. So, person B, we have Psychic Connection. There is a strong psychic connection between you and this person. They think exactly the same as you. Your intuition is telling you the right thing about this situation and this person. And then we have Birth. Ooh, I'm excited to read this energy. And then we have, there are so many things I should have said. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I just suddenly feel really excited and really happy. And this is really standing out to me because today was kind of shitty, but whatever. My mood suddenly did a 180 when I'm reading your energy. So thank you very much for that. I feel like you and this person are just so lovely. Fire signs could be significant, although I'm also getting Pisces vibes for some reason. But yes, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or Pisces could be significant. Where do I even start? Oh my God. So, okay, let's just start here. Let's just start with Remembrance. This is the card in the middle that is sort of indicating the main theme of this energy right now. The first thing I'm noticing actually is that, I don't know what it is, but like these wisps, I don't know if you can see them well, but these wisps around the border of the card, it's kind of reminding me of an iris. Like it's reminding me of somebody's eye. So I feel like there's definitely a feeling of familiarity here that goes beyond your 3D history. And I think this is very, very mutual because we have this message. They think exactly the same as you. I feel like emotions towards this connection, how you've impacted each other, it's very reciprocated, it's very mutual. And I feel like this is a connection that just has some sort of like a sense of familiarity or a sense of like nostalgia or deja vu that you can't really put your finger on. Another thing that's coming through here, and this will be for those of you who are in separation or you just like haven't seen this person in a long time, there is a confirmation here that they have a lot of memories of you and they think about these memories a lot. Like they reminisce a lot, that's the word. They reminisce a lot and there's a lot of things that remind them of you as they go through their life. And it kind of goes back to that little message I channeled at the very start. I feel like you're on this person's mind more than you realize. Even if you think like, oh yeah, this person probably thinks about me quite a bit, it's like even more than what you think. And it's like, especially in this familiar way or in this nostalgic way, it's like they remember you, they're reminded of you, they reminisce about you. And it's like, I think you bring up memories of the past within each other, but it's not coming through in the way of like, oh, this person like triggers wounds from my past. It's like in a happy way, which is interesting. I feel like that's kind of a different message than what I usually interpret, but it's like bringing up, it's like triggering happy memories, happy experiences. You might remind each other of a simpler time or like remind each other of something very sweet from your childhood, from your past, from your hometown. It's like you just feel comfortable and safe and familiar to each other. It's kind of like Six of Cups vibes as well. Now, in a more spiritual, in a more esoteric sense, you could also be bringing up past life memories in each other. And again, it's not necessarily like painful past life memories or unresolved issues from your past lives. It could be like very, very beautiful memories, beautiful scenes from your past lives that are being like brought back up. You could have a past life connection with this person if that's something that you feel or something that you're interested in knowing. But I also think that energetically, they're just very similar to like happy things that you've experienced in the past. So this could be a soul that you've like literally never met before, but they remind you of a really happy connection you had in the past or in your past life or something like that. Yeah, it's just this feeling of bringing up happy memories of each other, whether it's like literally memories of each other or just like happy things you've experienced in the past. Sorry, I feel like I'm just like rambling now, but anyway, what I want you to take away from this card is that it's a really sweet familiarity that you feel with each other. And if you do have a history with this person, they reminisce about it a lot and it makes them happy to be reminded of you. It makes them happy to just have your energy around. So, okay, even though I'm really excited to read person B's energy, I'm just gonna start over here with person A. So, I can tell that person A is really, really sweet. I feel like they do have a little bit of a firecracker or tough cookie kind of side to them. I feel like they come off as kind of spunky, kind of feisty, kind of sassy. They might have a very dry sense of humor or be kind of blunt or be kind of sarcastic, but they're actually very, very sweet. They're like a little fluffy puppy on the inside or something. They're really, really sweet. And I think it's the pink color of this card that is really making me think that. And this is someone that does want the real thing in their relationship. So they want like a committed romantic relationship. They want a best friend that they can always rely on. They're not really looking at this point in their life for casual relationships, whether that's romantic or platonic. Like, I don't want to do this kind of like casually hanging out, small talking. Like, I want to build something real. And I feel like this is someone who can tell from the very early stages of a connection, like, yeah, I'm gonna vibe with this person, or like, yeah, this is not really it. Like, they can tell if this is someone that they want to build something with. And I feel like person A has no problem like cutting off a connection or like letting a connection fizzle out if they feel like it's not going anywhere. So like, if person A is still involved with you and still has you in their life, that's a very deliberate choice. Because person A, the way they see it is like, if I didn't want you here, like, you wouldn't be here. Or like, if I didn't want to talk to you, I wouldn't be talking to you. I feel like this is not someone who does that kind of stuff like just to be nice or because they feel bad or like they don't want to upset you. It's like, if you're in person A's life, it's because they really care about you and they really want you here and they really want to build something with you, because that's what they surround themselves with. That's what they make the conscious choice to have in their life, is these real deal connections, people that they respect and admire and that they see true potential with. So yeah, I feel like this is just kind of who they are, but they're in a phase of their life where they really want to like appreciate and solidify their existing connections. And this is just this is just so telling. I have never felt such a strong connection. So person A definitely feels that person B is very, very special. And this fire, I love that there's matches on it, because it's like, we're a perfect match. And even like this little Jenga piece coming out, it's like, they kind of feel like person B is a missing piece of sorts. They kind of feel this like, where have you been all my life energy from person B. And they feel we're a perfect match. And they feel a lot of passion with this fire. They feel a lot of excitement. And I think person A feels like we're just getting started. I'm seeing this fire that's being kindled and that's being nurtured and that's growing and spreading. And fire spreads really quickly. So not only has person A never felt such a strong connection, but they really feel like, oh my God, I fell for person B so fast. Or like, I got that feeling about person B so fast, and my love and appreciation for them and like my affection towards them is spreading so quickly. Oh my God. But like, they're excited about it. I don't feel fear from person A, at least not in their current energy. There may have been a point in the past where they were kind of like, holy shit, what's going on? Like that they were, falling for or coming to love person B so quickly. But for their current energy, I don't really feel fear. I feel like they're excited to grow this connection further. They're excited to build it together and see where it goes. So yeah, person A's in a really nice energy right now. And okay, I don't know why I'm so excited to say this, but like person B, maybe it's because person B is really excited about it, but they have discovered that there is a psychic connection between these two people. They've received some kind of confirmation, whether it was just through a lot of synchronicities or, some download that they received, but they're like fully aware. Oh my gosh, like person A and I have this thing. We have this connection that goes beyond coincidence. And so when person B experiences this remembrance, this odd familiarity, this nostalgia, I feel like person B is so well aware of where that comes from. It's like we are linked in some way. And what made me so excited about this card, like this is not the first time this card has come out, but this psychic sign, I'm like, oh my gosh, because it's making me think of like a psychic shop, where you like go in and get a reading. And I think that person B has actually like gone to a psychic and gotten, not just like watching a general reading, but has like gone to a personal reader and had like a personal session, and something came up about this connection, and I'm getting this feeling of like person B was like went to get a reading, but they like didn't say anything, and they just wanted to see if anything about person A would come up. I don't feel like they necessarily explicitly asked about person A. Is more like a what do I need to know kind of vibe, because they just wanted to test like, will person A come up in the reading? And sure enough, they did. And it was unmistakable that it was person A's energy. And I think this made them very, very excited, because they're like, okay, then this is not just like in my head, you know, it's not like the reader couldn't have known, like, and just said what I wanted to hear, because I didn't even mention it. Like, the reader just picked up on the energy and brought it up. And I feel like that was a huge confirmation for them. Like, they got some reading that was a huge confirmation about this connection for them, that it's like no mistaking, because there was no like bias there. And they're just really freaking excited about it. And I'm so happy. Like, both of these people, I feel, are just like so excited about this connection. And with birth, you know, birth is something new, it's something fresh, it's a new beginning. So with person B as well, there's this feeling of like, I've never experienced something like this before. And these images kind of have a similar theme, where we see these, it's like growing, it's expanding out. So, I mean, we already saw here, like, these two people really think quite similarly about the connection. Maybe both of you have even had this experience and like you're resonating with both sides. But yeah, like, this connection is only expanding from here. And all of these eyes on the card make me think of psychic energy as well. I think, you know, this was also the first time that person B felt like a psychic awakening, or felt like they have some kind of gift, like, or that they felt that these kinds of, there's something to it. Like, maybe they were skeptical at first, but ever since this connection came up, and then like a neutral third party felt the energy as well, they're like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So I feel like this birth is kind of something of like a new journey, a new awakening, that person B is just really, really excited about. And I think they're like excited to explore their gifts further. And it's funny too, like with this, there are so many things I should have said. Like, I feel like they really kept quiet and just like saw what energy came out. But if this is someone you have a history with, person B could also be like they should have said more to person A, because there could have been so many more similarities, so many more synchronicities that they could have picked up on. Or maybe like they kept quiet about the synchronicities, like they were here feeling this psychic connection going on and like didn't tell person A, maybe because they didn't think person A would believe them. Like, they've left a lot of things unsaid, I think, about what they're experiencing. Even though they're excited about it, maybe they're just not ready. They don't know if person A will believe them, or, you know, because I feel like this person until recently was skeptical. So it's still kind of weird to talk about. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting. And again, if you have a history with this person, person B could also be like, you know, I wish I had expressed my feelings more, or something like that. But I don't know, I'm just not getting such like a heavy, or like there's painful things going on kind of vibe from this connection. And with the black tourmaline, I feel like you guys are really protected right now from those kinds of negative energies. If there was any like negative feelings or negative energies in this connection, I feel like they're definitely in the past, or you're at least very much in the process of coming out of them. So with that, let's get into our tarot now. So in this part of the reading, we're going to see the how and when aspect. So basically, we're going to have person A's sequence of events and person B's sequence of events, and then we're going to pull a card in the middle to represent your union. And I think I have to zoom out a little bit so that you can see all the cards. Okay. Otherwise, I think the bottom would be cut off a bit. Okay, so we're starting off on person A's side. So we're starting with the Three of Swords. And then we have the Ace of Swords. And then the Chariot. And I'm just going to remember that the deck was pretty messy when these cards came out. And then on person B's side, we have the Five of Wands. The Devil. The Eight of Swords. And then for your union, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Okay, so in terms of zodiac energy that we have here, we have Cancer energy with the Chariot and Capricorn energy with the Devil. One thing that this could be indicating is that you could be, well, one or both of you could be Cancer or Capricorn, but it can also be indicating that the two of you are sister signs. So like opposite signs from each other. Like Aries and Libra are sister signs, Taurus and Scorpio, Gemini and Sag, Cancer and Capricorn, Leo and Aquarius, Virgo and Pisces. Those are the sister sign pairs. But it's also kind of giving me like opposites attract vibes, or like yin and yang kind of energies that we have the sister signs here. But okay, I want to tell you guys something that is very interesting. Before we got into this tarot part of the reading, I had just finished saying like, I don't feel any troubling vibes in your current energy. I feel like any negativity is like long gone or it's on its way out. And so with that in mind, that gives me kind of a clear representation of where you're at in this journey to union, because I do see challenging energies here. And so seeing these, I know that like, okay, these are energies of the past. So any challenging energy, I'm like, oh, you've already passed this, or you're like in the process of clearing this away. So like, this is the card that represents your union, right? Person B, for example, this is challenging, this is challenging, this is challenging. So if we know that like these energies are on their way out, that means that person B is probably already like here on this path. You know what I mean? Like they've been through all of this. They're already like on their way out of this energy. This means that like person B is literally here. So I would have to say for this group that union feels very, very close. like what, are you already with this person, or like are you gonna get together like tomorrow? It just feels really quick. For person A, this is challenging, but these cards are not necessarily challenging. Like person A might be around here and person B might be around here. So I would say like spiritually, mentally, emotionally, person B might be like a little bit more ready, so to speak. I don't know, I just felt the need to put finger quotes there for some reason. A little bit more ready or a little bit more aligned, so to speak, whereas person A might still have some stuff to work through, but I'm not worried about that at all. And actually that makes sense, because I made that note that like when these cards came out, the deck was really like messy and like meh. Like the cards were going out in all directions and it just felt kind of sloppy. So yeah, there might be just some things that person A needs to work through here. It makes sense too, because the Ace of Swords is about, it's like coming out of that state of confusion, coming out of that struggle, and having mental clarity. I think something that will happen on person A's end before this union is like some really big epiphany, like some really big light bulb moment, some big moment of clarity about their life, which then they act on right away with the Chariot. Because Chariot is about forward motion. And I feel like person A is just like, they're taking things into their own hands. They're empowering themselves. It's not coming up specifically what this Three of Swords is referring to, or like what area of life this happened for person A, but Three of Swords does talk about heartbreak. And this is so interesting. Like, I've only used this deck a few times. I don't know if I've seen this card before, but the interpretation of the artwork that I'm being shown, it's like very interesting. You know, normally we would see swords piercing through a heart. So it's like, you know, someone is heartbroken, someone has experienced loss, rejection, disappointment, whatever it might be, and they need to heal from it. I feel like person A, at some point throughout their life, had kind of developed like a victim mentality, or like kind of like pitying themselves kind of mentality, or they felt like, oh, this is just the negative hand that I was dealt and I can't get out of it. And feathers to me are showing me like communication, you know, because you write with well, back in the day, you write with a feather, and birds make me think of communication too. And then beets make me think of the root chakra, because I think beets are good for your root chakra. They're root vegetables, and they're also red. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've like heard or read somewhere beets are like really good for your root chakra. And this represents like our sense of belonging, our sense of grounding, like our deepest sense of security and comfort and feeling like we have a place in the world. And so when I look at this, it's like someone's words, or multiple people's words, to person A over time really messed with their sense of security and really messed with their sense of belonging. And it's specifically like, I feel like this information is being withheld from me. So maybe person A's higher self does not feel comfortable like sharing with me and a bunch of people on the internet like what exactly they went through. But basically it's like they experienced some really harsh words, and people really messed with like their self-esteem or their sense of security or their sense of belonging. And this was something that they, I think, were grieving for quite some time. Whether you are person A or your person is person A, or both of you are, I do just want to reiterate that, you know, in the first half of the reading, I really felt like you're protected and negative energies are on their way out. So if this is you, like, I want you to know that better days are coming soon. And if this is your person, I would say, like, don't worry, because they are on the road to healing. Like, they are going to make a full recovery, which is what we see with the Ace of Swords and the Chariot. Again, the Ace of Swords is this epiphany or this light bulb moment. I think that frees them from this. I feel like, yeah, over time they had sort of developed like a victim mentality, and some epiphany that they're having is setting them free. And I am getting the feeling that this is some sort of download from a higher being. It's some sort of spiritual truth that sets them free from what they experienced in the past. And they're sort of having this epiphany of like, I don't need to let this control me anymore. And I think that what person A's higher self does feel comfortable sharing is that this became like a vicious cycle for them, because they felt like they were broken by something that happened in their life, right? So maybe they felt, at some point they felt rejected, and then they had wounds from that. And then they would say like, oh, I have these wounds, or I'm broken, and so like people aren't going to want to be with me, or like I can't be in a healthy relationship because I have these wounds. And then that just isolated them even further, and they sort of fell into this I guess abyss, or like this vicious cycle, and it became like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think that, you know, these cards are about having a breakthrough and moving forward to success, moving forward to victory. And so I actually think it's very beautiful that the deck was kind of messy when these cards came out, because it's like, I'm gonna move forward even if I'm scared. I'm gonna move forward even if I still have wounds. And so what they're basically saying is like, I'm still worthy of love and happiness even if I'm messed up. Like even if I have these like scars in my past, that doesn't make me like damaged goods, I say with very, very heavy finger quotes. That doesn't make me any less worthy. Like I don't have to be ashamed of this, and I don't have to isolate myself from what happened, and I can move forward even if I don't feel 100% like I have it all together. And as they move forward, I feel this deep healing happening. And I actually feel that definitely based on this current energy, this journey has already started, and they're well on their way. And I would say how person A is doing right now, they're like, I've pursued a lot of things that I wanted to pursue in my life, which has led me to receive amazing opportunities. And at this point in my life, I'm doing a lot of things that I want to do. And I feel happy with where my life is at. I would be lying if I said that there aren't days where I still feel like worthless, or I still feel like crap, or I'm triggered by memories of what happened. But I can say with certainty and with confidence that I'm not letting that stop me. And yeah, some days I feel uncertain, some days I don't feel my best, but I'm taking it a day at a time. And I can honestly say that as each day passes, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm so proud of person A. As each day passes, my life is getting better. And I can say with confidence too that I love myself. And I forgive myself. And I'm moving forward. The growth, the healing that has happened here. I'm so proud of person A. If this is you, I'm so proud of you. Or I'm so proud of your person. I feel like they're in this energy currently. No, they've already had the epiphany, so they're in the Chariot energy right now. So yeah, there we go. Like, union is very, very close. Person B has had their struggles as well. It's similar in that it's something to do with like rejection, but it's more like with the Five of Wands and the Devil, it's more like loss to a competition, if that makes sense. So it's like rejection in the sense of like someone else got a position that they wanted, someone else got a relationship that they wanted, and that really like got to them in some way. It's like they lost, somebody beat them, somebody won over them. So this could play out in so many ways, right? Like maybe someone else got the job position that they really wanted, or like they really had feelings for someone and that person ended up dating someone else, or like even they lost someone that they loved to someone else. It's that feeling of like somebody else was chosen over them, somebody else won over them, because the Five of Wands talks about these kinds of conflicts and competitions. And the Devil talks about like limiting beliefs, or that voice in your head that tells you you're not worthy. This could even be someone, I just got the image of someone who's like they're losing auditions over and over again. You know, like someone else gets the part every time. Like let's say person B is like a model or an actor or something, and then, you know, someone else is always getting the part over them, and so the Devil starts to say to them, like, you suck at what you do, or like in the example of a model, like you're not attractive enough, that person is more attractive than you, when really this is not the case, right? It's like when it comes to these kind of situations, it has nothing to do with your inherent worth as a person. It's just like, what is a good match? Like if you didn't get a job, it's not because you're a terrible employee, or like you're not qualified enough, or you're not good enough. It's like that company just didn't happen to be a match for you. And I feel like there's something in person B, and I think there's something in all of us that wants to take it personally. And can't just say like, oh, I guess we weren't a match, but it's like they deemed me not good enough, they rejected me. And so maybe it's either like this has happened many, many times in their life, or it could have just happened once, but it was like with something that they really cared about, and so it really, really stuck with them. But because of that, I think they have this feeling of like not being good enough that they've had to overcome. And the Eight of Swords, it talks about this as well. The Eight of Swords is like a lack of confidence, which generally stops you from taking action. So if I just keep going with this audition example, which obviously is very hypothetical, and it could be so many different situations, but this would even lead person B to like quit acting or quit modeling with the Eight of Swords, because it's like, oh, like I'm never gonna get the part anyway, like someone else is always gonna get the part. Or, you know, if this was like a relationship, the person they really wanted ended up with someone else, they'd be like, oh, like I'm just going to stay alone. Like they're kind of out of the game, for lack of a better word, or they like refrain from putting themselves out there as a result. I do think for person B, this is something that they have recovered from, but it wasn't easy. I'm looking at this dandelion, and I'm thinking of like pesky weeds. No offense to weeds. I literally am like, I have a weed as a house plant because it started growing and I just thought he was so sweet and I kept him. But yeah, it was hard to unearth that. And it's interesting that it's like very similar. It's like words of other people wounded them. And you know, the same way person A had the red beat for the root chakra, very interesting that we have sunflowers and dandelions, which represent the solar plexus, which is like, it's like your ambition, you're putting yourself out there, your self-expression, your confidence. And with the sunflowers, I was also going to say, I think this feeling of not being good enough, it has something to do with their talent or their attractiveness, because sunflowers make me think of Leo energy, and you know, Leo does tend to take things personally, like these kind of situations. And when you think of Leo, it's like, oh, they're the like confident, attractive, talented, creative, main character type of archetype. So the sun card or sunflowers do make me think of this. And actually the Five of Wands is associated with the zodiac sign of Leo, which I don't know, maybe that's why the sunflowers are there. But yeah, like this messed with their solar plexus, their ability to like put themselves out there and be assertive and be confident in themselves. So yeah, there's been tough energy on both ends, but I see, and I'm really happy to see this. And I do want to say, like, I guess I just want to say that I would be honest if I still felt like one or both of these people were still in the depths of like their dark place. And you know, because it is something I see like in other groups and other readings, and so I'm honest when I say like you're at this ending point. I don't know, I just felt the need to reassure that. Maybe like somebody out there was like doubtful or skeptical, but if I see like a heavy current energy, I will tell you. And I feel with this Wheel of Fortune, like we're almost there. This means the situation is gaining momentum. Things are speeding up. It also talks about divine intervention and unpredictable events. So I do feel the way that you come together with this person, it's not going to be a result of any sort of deliberate action from you or them. It's not going to be like, oh, you reached out to them and said, hey, do you want to have a union? It's not like a deliberate thing that you do in order to have union. It's completely unexpected. It's like when you're busy doing other things, you suddenly bump into each other. Like the universe is conspiring to have you bump into each other as you are just naturally living your life. I feel like person B, like they're really excited about this connection, but when the union does come, they might feel a little bit shy. I feel like person B is going to be a little bit shy and person A is going to be very like excited, very like forward. Person A is going to be, and it's interesting because I feel like at this current point in time, person A still might have a little bit more to work on in terms of their healing, but when you come into union, person A is going to be the one who's more confident and more forward and more like, yeah, let's go. And person B is going to be more of like the shy, like, like blushing and staring at the floor kind of person. But I think that person A will really quickly bring person B out of their shell with their beautiful, warm energy, with their firecracker energy. And person A just like radiates like, I'm very loyal, I'm very loving, I will take very good care of you kind of vibes. And person B is very intelligent, but they're kind of like soft spoken. I see like a kind of gray aura from person B, but not like a sad gray. It's like a calming. It's like when you have a nice rainy day after a long, hot, dry season, and you're just like snuggled up in bed and you feel like, I don't have to do anything today, I'm safe, and these like clouds are embracing you. I don't know, it's like that kind of energy. It's like a calming, soothing type of gray color, not like a dreary gray. But they have this like calm, soft, and soothing energy to them. But you know, when you have a cloudy sky, you can also have these like lightning bolt shocks going through them. So they have that sprinkle of excitement to them too. Woo! And then, yeah, and I feel that like in my chest. And I would give this person like red, pink, orange. That's the kind of, like, yeah, that's the kind of vibe that they have. But yeah, this union is coming through some kind of like unpredictable, when you least expect it, divine intervention sort of vibes. So let's take a look at these oracle cards now to get our last messages and advice from spirit about this connection. So we have Star Mother with how can you mother yourself. So this could be an indication that for one or both of these people, some of these challenging energies do come from childhood, and we are learning how to like reparent ourselves. We also have practice compassion, see things from a fresh perspective. So learning to view yourself with compassion. And it's interesting that this card is also 15 because that matches with the Devil card. And I think that the Devil is just really a mean voice that does not have truth to it. And I think it's beautiful that, you know, you're coming together, even if you haven't completely healed, even if you still have this Devil. And I think that, like, you know, these are both very nurturing cards. I think the nurturing and compassion that you show to each other helps you to heal together. And I just see you like you're loyal to each other, and you'll like fight for each other, you know? Like, what did your devil say to you? What did your limiting belief say to you? Let me talk to him. It's like that kind of vibe, you know? Like, what kind of bullshit are your insecurities feeding you today? Like, bring out the devil. Tell him to say it to my face. I'm not like, let's go outside kind of thing. You'll be so like boldly fighting for each other, boldly hyping each other up. And then we have free to fly. The past is behind you. See? Oh my gosh. That's such a straight confirmation. This is in the past. You are moving out of this challenging energy. You see? It's behind you, and no road takes you back. And that is your reassurance that you would not fall back to these negative energies. You are only moving forward. They are only getting thinner as you move along. Give thanks for all you've learned and spread your wings. And I feel like you guys are already doing this, because you're not letting these fears and insecurities stop you from doing what you love anymore. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so group number 3. These are all the messages that I'm seeing for this part of the reading. So just to recap, in the extended version of the reading, we're going to see what could speed up this process. Although I think if we speed up this process, you will like break the sound barrier or whatever it's called. And then what could hinder this process? What could slow down this process? How in alignment each of you are to this union? How likely is union to happen based on your current energies? And when specifically is union likely to happen based on your current energies? So if that is something that interests you and you would like to meet me over in the extended reading, there will be a link in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I will say thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where I post regular pick a card readings, and I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you too. Group number 3s, I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, and to all of your spiritual teams. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Shiva Lingam stone and the Moonchild tarot, this is going to be a reading. I got a little stand for your stone because he does like to roll around, so hopefully with this it will stay in place. But yes, before we get into it, I did want to clarify something that I feel I didn't really touch on adequately enough in the intro, and that is, of course, this reading is for any type of connection, but I just really wanted to clarify that you can even watch this reading for someone whom you haven't met yet in the 3D, or even if you don't know who they are, like for example your future significant other who hasn't come into your life yet. I really just wanted to emphasize that this reading is for everyone and it's for all types of connections. So yes, in this reading we're going to start off by doing an energy check of your current energy, their current energy, and just the overall energy of the connection, and then we're going to get into the how and when part. So basically we are going to see under what circumstances and through what sequence of events you will come into union with your person, and we're going to look at that from both of your ends. So like what's happening for each person, and then what finally brings you to your union, and what does that look like? What is your union like together? And then we're going to close off the reading with messages and advice from spirit for this journey. So that's what we're looking at in the reading here. And then there's also going to be an extended reading today. There we are going to see what could speed up the process to union or what could hinder the process to union. We're going to see how aligned you are and how aligned they are with this union based on your current energy, how likely union is to happen, and when exactly. So we're going to get a specific time frame of when it is likely to happen, again based on your current energy. So with that, let's finally get into your reading. We're gonna start off with some oracle cards for the energy check, and we will do this in a person A, person B style, which means I won't say like this is you and this is them, but rather I will let you listen to the energy of each counterpart and see where you feel like you resonate with. And it's totally possible and totally fine if you feel like you resonate with both sides. That's generally an indication that you and your person are mirroring each other. And also just like sometimes your energy changes, right? Maybe some days you feel like this side and other days you feel like that side, and that is totally fine. However, if you are not really seeing your energy on either side, then this might not be your group. So with that, let's take a look at the cards. To start off, we have grounding, which is such a beautiful card. And then for person A, they actually got 2 of these cards, so I decided to take both of them. So the first one is intimacy. Allow yourself to become spiritually, emotionally, and physically intimate with one another. Real sensuality and sexuality aren't based on physical looks only. Your energy is what makes you attractive and sexy. And then we have quality time. Spending more time together and doing things you enjoy is important now. If you are single, this card tells you to spend more time with friends. This card highlights parties and a good time. And then we also have defeat. And I'm sorry for what happened. Okay, so on person B's side, we have in the now. Being in the now is important for your love life at this moment. Release any expectations or worries about your future. Only in the now you can manifest and influence your current love situation. And then we have light. And it was just a small bump in the road. Okay, very, very different energies. I actually want to just kind of talk about person A and person B before looking at the card in the middle. But yes, person A and person B right now seem to be on quite different wavelengths. Starting over here with person A, they are definitely thinking about this connection a lot right now. I will say right off the bat that this is giving me the vibe of like people who are in separation or who are not involved with each other right now or who are in minimal contact. If you're like very heavily involved with this person, I'm not sure how much this group would resonate with you. Although I guess you could be like really involved, but just kind of feeling like an emotional distance or something like that. But there's definitely some distance going on or some kind of like disconnect going on between these two people right now. I can say that for sure. So if that really doesn't sound like what's going on in your connection, maybe I'm speaking too soon, but I'm not sure how much it will resonate with you. You're welcome to like stick around for a while and just see what comes up, and maybe it can apply to your situation. But yes, let's just get into it. So yes, person A is thinking a lot about this connection right now. If this is a romantic dynamic between the two of you, then person A is thinking a lot about person B in a physical way or even in a sexual way, whether that is looking back on times that actually happened or just fantasizing about what could happen in the future. But like this card mentions, intimacy is not just about the physical, it's not just about sex. So even if this is not a romantic connection, or even if you haven't had that type of relationship with this person, what this card is really trying to say is that person A is longing for closeness. They're longing to feel close with person B. They want to feel vulnerable with person B, and they want to see and be seen by person B. Like we can even see in this image, the people are literally like pressed together. And even if this is metaphorical, person A is craving that kind of closeness. And then we even have quality time, which came out together with this card, which is quite simply like, I just want to be with you. So it's really, really clear to see that person A is missing person B a lot. And then we get to this defeat card and we get to this I'm sorry for what happened. And so this lack of closeness, this lack of quality time, this lack of intimacy, this distance that is coming up in the connection, person A is feeling like it is their fault somehow, or is feeling like they messed things up. I, as the reader, am not saying that that's the case. I am just reading how person A feels. You will know this situation better than me, but person A is kind of feeling like I messed this up. Now, this quality time and intimacy card could actually be indicating the very things that person A feels that they messed up on. So for example, with quality time, maybe person A didn't give person B enough of their presence. Like when they were together, they weren't really present, they weren't really focused on person B, or they straight up weren't seeing them as much as the connection called for, or as much as person B needed them to be around. Maybe there was a bit of like, neglectful is too strong of a word, but maybe it's like they got distracted with other things. You know, it started off as just like, oh, I'm busy right now, oh, life is getting in the way, but then the next thing they knew, it had been ages since they reached out to person B, and they were kind of like dropping the ball, I guess, with investing in the connection and like keeping in touch with person B. That can definitely be, you know, I'm sorry for what happened, quality time, like I wasn't there for you. I'm thinking of that Bruno Mars song that's like, I should have bought you flowers and held your hand, should have give you all my hours. You know the one. Take you to every party, cause all you wanted to do was dance. Now my baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man. It's like that feeling of regret. Like I should have been there more. I should have cherished you more. With intimacy, this could be like, I should have opened up more. I should have let you see the real me more. There could have also been something related to intimacy, or something related to like a physical situation, physical appearance. Maybe like person A inadvertently made person B feel bad about something physically, or there was like an awkward situation or miscommunication with something physical. If it's that kind of connection, or it's just like I should have opened up more and I should have been there more. And with this defeat card, I'm hearing like it all happened so fast, or like before they knew it, it had ended up like this. It feels like person A just kind of got carried away with something else. They were too focused or distracted by something else. And like before they knew it, they feel like they dropped the ball in this connection. When I see this defeat card from this deck, the star does make me think of the star in tarot, which maybe is kind of strange because the star is a very positive card, but it denotes hope for the future. Like, I'm optimistic about the future. I have so many high hopes. My future is bright. My future is promising. So with this defeat card and that kind of link to the star that I feel, I see someone who's like, my future was so bright. I had so many dreams. I had so many desires for this connection. I saw a future with this person, and this spiral in their head, it's like confusion. Like, what happened? It's like person A is trying to pinpoint, was there like, what was the exact moment that things went wrong? Or was it even was it an exact moment, or was it a bunch of things piling up? Or like, when did it reach the point of no return? They're like trying to figure out where they went wrong, and like, how did I let this happen? I don't know. I feel like person A is like putting a lot of blame on themselves. And again, I'm not saying that it's accurate of them to do this or not. I'm merely reading how they feel. And, you know, with this spiral in their head too, I think they're like ruminating over the situation a lot. I see someone like, you know, stirring the events in their head. What do you call, like turning over the events in their head over and over and over. And I think person A is quite hung up on person B right now. I would also say, like, it's likely for this group that there is 3D history here. That's probably obvious from what I've been interpreting. Although if you haven't met this person before in the 3D and you do feel like there is, you know, some way that this applies to your situation, please feel free to claim these messages. But it does seem like for most of you, you do have a 3D history with this person. So what's very interesting now is that if we go over to person B, they don't really seem pained in any way. They don't really seem troubled in any way. This is current energies. So that's not to say like person B could have been hurting from what happened in the past, but person B kind of has like, I've moved on from the situation type of energy with this in the now. Like they're living in the present moment, which, you know, if this is person A's current energy and person B in the present is feeling good, that really highlights even more like, okay, this person A is dwelling on past energy and that's why they feel bad. Person B is in the now and that's why they feel good. Like they're not dwelling on what happened in the past. They've let go and they're not worried about the future. They're just enjoying the present moment. And you know, maybe it took person B a long time to get here. Maybe it took them a lot of healing. Maybe they were really upset about this for some time, but they're good now. And again, in this A versus B spread, it could be, you know, sometimes you feel like this and sometimes you feel like this, because healing is not linear and we don't feel the same way every second of every day. You know, our mood fluctuates and our energies fluctuate. So if you are listening to this and you're like, oh yeah, sometimes I feel like that and sometimes I feel like that, that is totally fine. But yeah, the person B energy is like very present. This person looks just so grateful for what they have and they're just not stressed. And this is such a clear energy to read, right? Because we also have light. Like I'm only seeing light in the situation. I'm seeing the positive in the situation. Whatever happened, I'm grateful for it because it taught me something, because it made me stronger, or, you know, it helped me to appreciate the light in my life even more. And when I get this card, I feel like, oh my gosh, why did it take me so long to realize these are both star cards? But this is like a defeated star, and this is a happy star. This is a hopeful star, and this is a lonely star, and this star has a lot of company. Person B has put in the work to feel happy and to feel grateful in their present moment. I feel like person B has made an effort to surround themselves with loving friends, with family. I think person B has a really good connection with their spirituality, with their spirit guides, whether they literally know I have spirit guides and they're with me, or they just kind of feel like, you know, something out there has got my back. They feel protected and they feel guided. Whereas I think person A is in more of a wallowing energy right now and like dwelling on what happened and like wallowing in their sadness. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes we need to just let ourselves feel all of that negativity to let it go. But it becomes a problem when you're stuck there. And I don't know, judging from how much work person B has put in and how well they're doing, I'm kind of wondering if person A is a little bit stuck here, if they're in a little bit of a wallowing kind of energy. And it's really interesting, like, to clarify this even more, person B is saying it was just a small bump in the road. There's really this feeling of like, I'm not worried about it. Like, I've gotten over whatever happened here. I'm okay. It's like, I feel like person A has this idea of like, I've ruined everything. Person B must not want to talk to me anymore. And person B is like, I'm doing fine. I'm really doing okay. Yeah, and then with this grounding, like, maybe this is just indicating what's really important. I think this is something that person B has definitely got a handle on, and something that maybe person A needs to work on, because when I think of grounding, it's like getting yourself back into the present and what you can do now, not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, but saying like, I'm here now, what happened happened, and the future hasn't been decided yet, but I can create it right now. That's very much the energy that person B is in. Now, about this tree, when this card appears, especially this card, but just cards with trees in general, it does give me the feeling of people who are members of the same soul family or the same larger soul group, if that is something that resonates with you. And I'm also thinking of like how trees, I think trees can communicate with each other like through their roots. And the number 6 is making me think of the Lovers. Gemini energy could be significant, also Aquarius, because we've been talking about the star a lot. But I am sort of getting vibes of like a telepathic connection, or no, I should say the potential for one, because, and maybe it sounds kind of ironic because we think of these like psychic things going on in higher dimensions, but in order to access this like psychic connection, I feel like both counterparts must be grounded in their physical body, meaning like they're not up in their head, they're not up in their emotions, they're not stressed, like they're here in the now in their body. So maybe there's a bit of a energetic disconnect right now. I also wanted to point out that these two hairs look very similar, like long, curly, dark hair. So someone in this connection, or both people in this connection, could have like dark, curly hair, especially if it's long. Oh, and there's also a tattoo on here. So you guys, one of you or both of you could have tattoos. But yes, this is what I'm seeing for the energy check. So we're going to move into the tarot now, but I'm going to take a drink first. Okay, so like I mentioned a bit in the intro, we're going to keep with the person A, person B format and pull cards to see the sequence of events on both sides, which then lead to the union, which will be the card in the middle. Wow, it's like, I think person B, it's funny, like person A thinks about the connection a lot, but person B is more so the one who actually like feels the connection and like truly feels person A's energy. I think person B can sense what person A is going through, and while they do have compassion for them, at the same time they're like, I can't help you. Like, and I say that with love, but like this is your journey. Woo, okay, wow. So yeah, and it's funny, I was about to start pulling cards for person A, and then like a bunch of cards fell out, which usually is a sign of someone who's thinking a lot, who has a lot on their mind, who's feeling really strongly, who has a lot that they want to say. Person A is really in their head right now. Okay, so we have the 8 of Cups. Okay. And then we have the Emperor. I'm just gonna move this up. Hopefully you can see the whole card. And then we have the Magician. And then on person B's side, we have the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and then we have the Four of Wands, and then the card to represent the union is the Page of Wands. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense. This definitely feels like a separation situation, because we're starting over on person A's side. We have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups talks about walking away. Okay. Yeah. The Eight of Cups is showing that person A has walked away. Oh, I should mention zodiac energies. We do have Aries energy here, and we have Mercury energy here, so that could be Gemini, which we mentioned before, as well as Virgo, and then we have fire sign energy here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Yes, so yeah, this is showing that person A has walked away, and that's probably what they're feeling defeated about. That's probably what they're feeling I'm sorry for what happened about. But I feel like this, it's like they walked away because of pride. I think that person A has displayed emotional immaturity at some point in this connection. And it's like they walked away because they were too proud to admit that they were wrong, or like too stubborn or too proud to open up or something like that. I'm wondering if person A is a man or a masculine. I don't normally like to assume the gender of the counterparts, because I usually don't think it's relevant, but I'm just seeing the Emperor and the Magician here, and both of these are like strong masculine archetypes. And so I feel like if person A is a man or a masculine, they could have been dealing with a little bit of toxic masculinity, you know, feeling like showing emotion is a sign of weakness, or like developing emotional attachment is a sign of weakness, or like admitting you're wrong is a sign of weakness, or something like that. I feel like they were kind of caught up in this like proud energy, or like I'm strong kind of energy. I guess honestly women can develop that as well, because honestly feminine, like sensitive and emotional energy is like shamed all across the board. So I mean women and feminine people can develop toxic masculinity too. But that's definitely the vibe that I'm getting from this person. And it's like they walked away and there's this voice inside them, like the soft voice of their intuition, or what their heart is really telling them. And I feel like as soon as they walked away, they like immediately knew that they messed up. But it's like they're too proud to backpedal. It's kind of like, I think maybe a lot of us have done this at some point, like when you're in an argument and halfway through you realize that you're wrong, or like you realize that you're being unreasonable, but like you've already fought your point so strongly that you just double down. I don't know. I know that I've done that before. But that's the kind of energy I'm getting from this person. It's like they walked away. Maybe it was kind of heated. I don't know. But like as soon as they did that, there was this voice in their head like, oh, you fucked up. Like, and even like go back in there and like say you're sorry or whatever. But like their ego was stronger and their ego won in that situation, and so they kept walking. and they stuck with their decision, and they doubled down. And I feel for a while it was like too much for them to actually face what had happened and to be like, you fucked up. So I feel like they created this narrative where they were in the right and where they can come out on top, and like where they can be the hero, like looking at this Emperor card, even though deep down their intuition or their heart was telling them like, no, you messed up. They just, I don't know, maybe they're like, oh, person B was too much, person B was blah blah blah, and like I had to walk away, but it was just like out of pride or like not wanting to be vulnerable. And then they like doubled down on that narrative. They like really held on to their story for some time. It's interesting, I just realized that I'm talking in past tense, so maybe they're out of this energy now. But I mean, judging from this first part of the reading in the energy check, they're definitely starting to realize that they've messed up. And this confusion too, like they're like, how did this happen? How did I convince myself that this was a good idea? Because I feel like they had some programs, I don't know how else to say it, but like they had some mental programs that were installed, you know, like that they have to be macho or that they have to be strong, or, you know, some harmful like societal programs or something they learned from their upbringing, and it made them act in a way that they're like very confused about now. They're like, how did I behave like that? How did I do that? They feel confused, they feel lost, they feel kind of like they're kind of in a hopeless energy right now. I am happy to see I'm happy to see both of these cards, actually. I'm happy to see the Magician because I feel like this is person A taking accountability, taking things into their own hands. The Magician is very much someone who acts from their own will. They don't just like wait around for things to change. They don't just like passively accept the circumstances. So I feel like the Magician shows a point where person A is kind of getting out of this rut that they're in and getting out of this energy of like dwelling on the past and saying like, me, you know, I could regret my actions all day. I could be sorry for what happened all day, but like it doesn't mean anything if I don't change and if I don't like take charge of my life and take accountability for myself. And so this is like their transitioning point, I feel. And I feel that person A still very much wants person B in their life, and they want a new beginning, and they're in the process of like trying to manifest this, because the Magician is also about like manifesting what you want to happen. And it's card number 1, which is, you know, the number 1 talks about new beginnings. It also talks about confidence and taking action and taking initiative. With Mercury, it talks about communication. And just jumping forward to this union energy, from the way this Page of Wands is facing, we can very clearly see that it's person A who is moving towards person B. It's person A who is making the next offer. So again, we have like, I don't know, these energies just feel quite different. Over here with person B, and it's so interesting here too, like we can see the two people are walking away from each other. Person A walked away with this feeling of like pride and stubbornness, but the Knight of Cups representing person B, first of all, cups are very like, they're a go with the flow energy, they're an allowing energy. And the Knight of Cups is very compassionate. I feel like person A did display some immaturity in this situation, but person B didn't judge person A. They may have been hurt by person A's actions, but I feel like they just understood like, okay, this is where you're at emotionally, this is where you're at spiritually. And so if you're going to walk away, then I'm going to walk away too, because Cups energy doesn't resist. Cups energy doesn't hold on tightly. Like water, it just flows with the way the energy is moving. So person B was like, okay, clearly it's not time for us to be together in any sort of meaningful union right now. Clearly this is not going to work out. I think, while, you know, person B is obviously a human, so there's a part of them that may be hurt and may be taking things personally, but I feel like they had a deeper spiritual knowledge that, like, this is not about me. This is not about me. This is about them. Like, they're projecting something onto me, and like, if they're not ready, I can't force things. I can't change them. I have to just, you know, they've shown me where they're at, and I have to accept that. And so the Knight of Cups has walked away as well. And, you know, dark horses make me think of the unknown. So maybe it was a little bit scary for person B. Like, I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's out there, but I'm just going to go where the energy takes me. And I think that was very, very brave. That was very brave of person B. The Knight of Cups is like on a journey to find love, or on a journey to find emotional fulfillment. So as much as this may have been a disappointment, I don't think it put a damper on person B's hope, at least not for too long. And we see that so clearly. Like, I feel like person B is so strong. No matter what comes their way, they can stay hopeful and optimistic, and they know that they're protected, and they know that they have a lot of support, both on earth and in spirit. And the Ten of Swords card it's very much an ending. It's very much like drawing a line in the sand, which is interesting because there is sand in this picture. But yeah, Ten of Swords represents an ending, and it does represent a kind of dark time. But I feel like person B processed everything in such a healthy way. Like, they let go when it was time to let go. They likely had a period of grieving and being in their head, but who wouldn't, you know, in a situation like this? It's completely natural. But then they chose their happiness again with the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is about your happiness, your joy. And again, we see person B is like connected, and person B might have a better support system, and maybe that's why we kind of see a difference. Whereas person A feels more kind of solitary. And I do really feel for person A. I feel for both of these people, honestly. And there's no judgment anywhere, just to make that clear. But yes, person B went through their process, and now they have found their happiness. I feel like, yeah, this is like, person A's around here in this journey, I feel, and person B's like here. The Four of Wands represents so well like this in the now energy, this light energy. The number 4 represents like stability, and, well, in this case it's representing like stubbornness and not being willing to budge. But another meaning of the number 4, which I think is being exemplified here, is stability, security, protection, like knowing that the universe has got your back, knowing that everything's unfolding exactly as it's supposed to. Person B might have even used this experience to like alchemize their emotions, if that's the right word, or like channel their strong emotions into a project, or into one of their dreams, into their career, into creativity, into like humanitarian efforts. It's like they took that pain, or they took those strong emotions and like channeled them into something really productive. And I feel like person B right now, they're either living their dreams, or they're like well on their way to their dream life. And I don't know, person B is doing quite well. And I don't know, I just see person A's, like, this is person B just like living their best life and dancing with their friend and doing all these things that they want to do. And then person A comes up, and you can literally see like they're bringing this offer. The fact that person A is coming through as a page here, it could be showing that they're bringing this offer. It could be that the offer is quite small at first, or that they're offering quite humbly, or that in some way they're feeling kind of, I don't know if below is the right word, but they're feeling kind of humbled by person B. And that makes sense. If they, you know, if they're coming to like open up, to admit that they messed up, you would be coming through as a page, right? It would be a little weird to come in as a king and be like, I was wrong. Like, you have to be kind of humble in this case. And I think you have to start small too, which is why person A is coming through as a page. So let's say, for example, this was a romantic situation and person A really, really messed up. You know, person A, they're not gonna come back like, I still love you, I want you back in my life, will you marry me? Like, that's a lot. You know, after everything that's happened and person B is like, who knows, maybe person B has completely moved on. We don't know. They seem to be really happy. You know, that's too much to come back with after this time. So even if that's what's really in their heart, they're kind of like holding back. Maybe they want to put out a feeler. Maybe they just want to see where person B is at. Because for all they know, like, person B doesn't want anything to do with them. I feel like person A doesn't know like where person B is at or what person B wants. So they're putting out like a small offer. Maybe just, you know, extending communication. Oh, actually, you know what? The Four of Wands tends to represent like celebrations or like a really happy moment in your life. I'm thinking of like a congratulatory moment. So person A might use that opportunity to like reach out to person A, or what did I just say? Person A might use that opportunity to reach out to person B. So like, for example, it's person B's birthday. That's a congratulatory moment. Or maybe person B got a promotion or they got a new job and then like they posted it on social media, or person A heard about it through a mutual friend, or, you know, something worth celebrating to person B. And so person A comes forward and says like, hey, I heard this amazing thing happened in your life. I heard that you achieved this, or like it's your birthday or whatever it is. And I just want to say congratulations. And like, I hope you're doing well. You know, it feels like something quite casual like that. That's not to say that they aren't thinking more and wanting more, because they definitely are. But I think they're just feeling like that's not the way to come back. They just want to like feel out the waters. Okay, this group was quite different and quite interesting. So let's take a look now at some last oracle cards for messages and advice from Spirit. We have Don't Dim to Fit In. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? I feel like this could apply to both person A and person B, but in very different ways. I feel like when it comes to person A, this is indicating them like shutting down their emotions. And this could also, it's interesting. We've seen a lot through this reading, like person A is depicted as being like alone or lonely. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a lot of people around them, but maybe just that they're not connecting. I feel like both of these people are brilliant. They're extremely talented and they're extremely brilliant. But person B just has a better support system and has like embraced their brilliance and embraced their uniqueness. And I really do feel for person A. I'm not saying like everything that they've done is okay, but that I can just kind of understand why they maybe ended up like this, because I feel like this loneliness that I feel from person A is not necessarily that they're actually alone. But, you know, that loneliness of like, there's people around me, but we don't connect. There's people around me, but they don't understand me. And I think people around them are very like status quo, conform, don't stand out, don't be weird. And so person A has really like closed off an emotional, sensitive, creative, spiritual part of themselves. And I think when they see person B, it's almost like, I don't know if threatening is the right word. There's maybe a bit of envy there, because it's like, I would be like that. I would be like you if I was confident enough. I would be like you if I was comfortable enough within myself. And there's like a weird, I don't know, like a weird envy or a weird, not resentment, no. Maybe just envy and like feeling insecure, feeling intimidated. There's that kind of vibe. Whereas, you know, obviously with this light card, person B is not dimming to fit in. If they were in the past, they're definitely not now. And that's why they're living this Four of Wands. We have romance, lavish the one you love with personal attention and affection. So this could very well be a romantic connection, or this celebratory moment of person B could be something related to romance. So let's say, for example, like this is a parent and this is a child. Maybe like the child got engaged. And so the parent kind of comes in humbly, like, oh, I heard the news, congratulations. You know, it may be kind of awkward, but that's your family. And they're kind of using that as a way to come back in. So, if this is a romantic connection, this is likely confirming that the romantic feelings are still there on both ends, or definitely there on your person's end. Or that it will be like a romantic milestone, a romantic celebration, like a wedding, an engagement, something like that. That will be like the way back in for person A. And then we have appreciate all you have. Let go of how you think your life should be and celebrate all that it is. Needing nothing attracts everything. And that's like the perfect example of being grateful for the now, being in the present moment, and grounding. That's really the key. And that's the key to strengthen the psychic connection that is here too, the telepathic connection that is here too. You're connected to this person energetically, or you can be if you want to be. And you can definitely communicate with this person's higher self. But group number 4s, this is all I'm seeing for this part of the reading. So just to recap, in the extended reading, we're going to see... oh my gosh, this is group 4 and I can't... I've already done this 3 times and I can't think of it. What can speed up or slow down the process on your journey to union? How aligned are you and how aligned is your person to this union? How likely is union to happen based on your current energies? And when specifically is union likely to happen based on your current energies? So if that is something that interests you and you would like to meet me over in the extended reading, that will be in a link in the description as well as in the pinned comment. However, if you're going to leave the reading here, I will say thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where I post regular pick a card readings. That will be linked in the description and the pinned comment too. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other songs, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 4s, I'm sending you guys so much love to your person and to your spiritual teams as well. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!